This broadcast is under the direction and is copywritten by Champion Sports Radio. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or use of the audio stream, and any and all other use of the accounts of this broadcast without the direct written consent and permission of Champion Sports Radio is strictly prohibited. All rights are reserved by Champion Sports Radio and ChampionSportsRadio.com. This is a presentation of Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship broadcasts. It's been an unbelievable run for the Flower Mound Jaguars as they have defended their 2014 state title throughout this season. And they've come through it with a big A+ on the report card, 24-3 overall, and an unbelievable 16-0 undefeated district championship in 6-6A, the District of Death. Tonight, though, those records are wiped away. And nothing matters but surviving and advancing. And that is the goal tonight as the Jaguars open the postseason against the Timber Creek Falcons. The 43rd all-time playoff series for the Jaguars begins right now on Champion Sports Radio and CSR TV. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome here to Quick Trip Park, the home of the Grand Prairie Air Hogs, for tonight's opener of a best-of-3 by-district playoff round series between the Flower Mound Jaguars and the Timber Creek Falcons. Thomas Lee here with you, and joined right now by Pete Nielsen, and glad to have you back in the saddle, partner. Is the last time you and I called a baseball game together, we were at the Dell Diamond in Round Rock, and celebrating a 5-inning, 10-0 Jaguar win over the Reagan Rattlers.
Yeah, it just seems like yesterday, Thomas. And, you know, Flower Mound wins their state championship and goes into the season with unbelievable confidence and go through district, that juggernaut of a district, undefeated, now knowing how to get there, how to make it happen, the confidence, the poise. Looks like they're primed for another ride down I-35. To Round Rock again.
It's going to be tough, and we'll talk more about that throughout the broadcast. We'll get you an update on the final night of 6-6A play. We'll check on the rankings, not only in the state, in the region, but across the country that the Jaguars are a part of. It's going to be a lot of fun, partner.
I'm looking forward to some baseball this weekend if the weather will cooperate, my friend.
First of a doubleheader here tonight. The Carroll Dragons and the Midlothian Panthers on deck. But first, the Jaguars are trying to take a 1-0 lead on Timber Creek. Jaguars 24-3 overall, 16-0 out of 6-6A. Noah Hill leads things off by taking a pitch outside for ball number 1. Danny Wallace, 89 wins, 19 losses, 2 ties in his third year with the Jaguars, 474 wins all time. Previous stops, Georgetown, Pflugerville, Conley, and Hutto. Assistant coaches Patrick Watson and Jesse Cisneros. So that one's a fastball on the outside corner to Hill for a strike, 1-1 the count. Noah Hill leading things off tonight for Danny Wallace. 5'9", 180-pound senior, batting .301 on the year. No homers, 8 driven in for the second baseman. From the right side against the lefty, Isaac Slaybach. That one's outside as well. The count is now 2 balls and a strike. Slaybach, the 6'6", 210-pound senior, the lefty, with a 1.10 earned run average. That's a skosh better than Weimer's 1.13. Shot on the bump tonight for the Jaguars here in Game 1. 2-1 pitch to Hill. That one stays high, and nobody on this Jaguar team, Peter, is better at working walks than Noah Hill. He's got a team-leading 25, one of just 3 Jaguars in double digits.
Just an outstanding job of being patient. You would think that he's maybe a little jacked up to start the playoffs, but no, does a really nice job of letting the pitches up in the zone go by.
Hill digs back in. Here's a 3-1. That one's outside. It's a leadoff walk. Patience is a virtue. And for the BYU signee Noah Hill, it results in a trip to first base. And that'll bring up Skylar Cox. Noah Hill leading things off, the second baseman in the top spot in the lineup. Batting second, Skylar Cox, the junior left fielder. Senior pitcher Sean Weimer batting third in the on-deck circle. So it's Hill, Cox, and Weimer top 30 your lineup. Middle third, Jamison Hanna, the senior center fielder, batting fourth. Batting fifth, Casey Jacobson, the senior shortstop. Senior designated hitter Thomas Jeffries batting sixth. The pitch is high and outside, and ball one to Cox.
And you got to be careful with the left-hander. You don't want to get picked off in this situation. Clearly, with the young man struggling a little bit to find the strike zone early.
Throw over to first, and Hill easily back in time. Bottom third of the lineup, batting seventh, Nick Thornquist, the junior catcher. Senior third baseman Sean Holhouse batting eighth, and batting ninth, Chad Paris, the senior right fielder. Another throw over to first. So it's Hill on first, Cox at the plate, Weimer on deck. Middle third, Hanna, Jacobson, Jeffries. Bottom third, Thornquist, Holhouse, and Paris. Face off against Isaac Slaybach. That one can't find the zone either, and Cox now ahead with a 2-0 count. Check that 1-1 as the home plate umpire changes the count. Perhaps it's the scoreboard operator. Either way, 1-1 the count. Big leg kick. This is high, and it gets past the catcher, Dalton Davies, and Hill saunters on over to second base. 2-1 now the count with Hill on second, nobody out top of the first.
Defensively for Keller, Ryan Van Llewellyn's left fielder. Anthony Order is the center fielder. Austin Gage in right. Ty Davidson's third baseman. Brian Klein, the shortstop. Carlos Reyes, the second baseman. Hunter Porter is at first.
And that pitch under the knees. Great hitters count 3-1 coming up here for Cox.
That one was close.
Complete your thought there, partner. Dalton Davies, the catcher behind the plate, and the rest of the battery, Isaac Slaybach on the mound, the senior. That lefty's a tall drink of water out there. 3-1's inside, back-to-back walks worked by Hill and Cox. So two ducks on the pond as Weimer steps to the plate, still nobody out top of the first.
Thomas, if you recall last year in that playoff run for the Jaguars, it was when Sean Weimer found himself at the plate. And it's carried over to this year, and what a perfect position for the young man who's hit the three home runs, 21 RBIs on the season, to step up right here, give the Jaguars an early lead. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Little visit on the mound, and now Falcon head coach Derek Watson is going to head back over to the dugout with a quick word for his third baseman, Ty Davidson. But Derek Watson has really done a tremendous job with this program. There's few things harder than starting a program from scratch. And that's what he's done. It's taken him a few years. Last year, a 20-win season. They missed the playoffs by a single game, and then this year getting in a very, very competitive 5-6A.
And Keller's a very baseball-rich community, partner. You see the other Keller High School undefeated through district play, so it's very, very difficult in that area.
Yeah, they went undefeated. You know what their reward is? The Plano Wildcats getting hot and healthy at the right time.
And, yeah, more important, healthy. You're 100% right, Thomas.
1-0 pitch here to Weimer, batting .292 on the season. Takes that one for a strike on the inside corner. Ball and a strike. Weimer, team leader in home runs with 3. He's driven in 21. That's 2 behind Jacobson's team leading 23. Two on, nobody out. Top of the first, still scoreless. Jaguars batting. Takes that one inside, and the count is now 2 balls and a strike. 6'2", 190-pound senior. Trying to help his own cause. It's amazing how great this pitching staff is for the Jaguars. A team ERA 1.19. But if Weimer can have those runs in his back pocket before he takes the bump for the first time, the confidence level grows even higher. Tough location there, and another 3-1 count. Third consecutive batter that Slaybach has gotten behind 3-1. The previous two, Hill and Cox, were issued walks.
What a great hitter's count this is for Sean Weimer, but he needs to be careful not to try too hard. Hit his pitch.
Turns on this one. It's foul down the third base line, and the count is full. Jamison Hanna on deck. What a race we've had between Weimer, Hanna, and Jacobson for the RBI lead throughout the year. All three have taken a turn at the top spot. Jacobson comes in with 23, Weimer 21, Hanna with 19. Just goes to show you the depth and level of production that this offense has employed this year. Swing and a miss, big strikeout there. Swinging strikeout, first K of the game for Slaybach. And the first out here in the top of the first.
I think Sean was looking for something out on the outside part of the plate. Pitcher decided to come inside. Sean swung right through it.
Jamison Hanna will step in with one gone, two on. 367 average, 19 driven in on the year. Speedy center fielder signed to play with DBU. Takes the first pitch outside, low and away for a ball. And Parter, you spent some time with the mask on behind the plate calling the balls and strikes. When a pitcher starts to have problems locating, 5-pitch walk, 3-1 count, you don't get the benefit of the doubt anymore, do you?
And it appears to be a pretty tight strike zone, which will make it even harder to get that strike zone established.
Grounder back up the middle. It gets through for Hanna. Go sign is on for Hill. The throw goes to third, sliding in. Cox will be out, but Noah Hill scores on an RBI single by Jamison Hanna, and the Jaguars take a 1-0 lead.
Just does what he's supposed to. Takes it right back up the middle. Heads up running there by Skylar Cox to try to get the third, but on a bang-bang play, he's called out, but the Jaguars on the scoreboard.
On the throw to third, Hanna advances to second, so there are two gone. Jaguars take a 1-0 lead, and now Casey Jacobson will step to the plate. 6 foot, 185-pound senior, signed to play with Brigham Young. 3-year starter at shortstop. Takes the first pitch for strike one on the inside corner.
And really has appeared to come in his own at the plate. Solid defensively all the time. Really found his way at the plate this year.
Team leading average, 390. Team leader in RBIs with 23. Slaybach with a look to second. Comes home. This one is spoiled foul down first base line. And for the first time today, Slaybach ahead of a batter. Count 0-2.
And now Casey's job is just to find a way to put the ball in play and make Timber Creek make a play, basically. See what they can do defensively.
Runner on second, two gone. 0-2 pitch, swung on. A little late as it tails foul beyond the Jaguar bullpen down the first base line, and the count remains still 0-2 strikes.
Good job of battling good pitches here by Casey.
Hanna's on second. They're not paying too much attention to him. This one blocked in, and Hanna thought about taking off, and nice play by Davies to corral that thing and keep it in front of him, and that keeps Hanna on second.
Never want to make that third out at third base, buddy, and that's really a good job there by Jamison, not taking that chance when it's not needed. He has the speed to score on any base hit.
Fifth pitch of the at-bat. Again, spoiled foul. Something this team does remarkably well. Make the other team throw a lot of pitches.
Don't give any at-bats away is the way that I like to look at it. Make them battle. Just make the pitcher. Every out needs to be work.
About 23% of the time, it's a 6+ pitch at bat for this team on the season.
That's pretty impressive right there.
Especially when you consider the quality of pitching that the Jaguars have faced game in and game out the last 2 months.
Kudos to the stat guy for that one.
Ground ball. Nice play by Davidson at third. The throw over is going to be in time. It's a 5-3 ground out. And that'll do it, closing the book on the top of the first for the Jaguars. But they do score the first run of the ball game. Benefit of a base hit, no errors, 1 left. Half inning in the books. Jags 1. Falcons coming to the plate for the first time after these messages on Champion Sports Radio and CSR TV.
Stay up on all the latest news about the teams you care about and know when your favorite games are on the air thanks to Champion Sports Radio social media. Either follow @Champion Sports on Twitter or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio, and you will know what time your game starts, who was named Player of the Week, or what your school's alumni are doing in college. That's on Twitter @Champion Sports and facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio. Your home for championship social media.
In Command Broadcasting, a sports TV broadcasting and marketing company. In Command Broadcasting provides a wide array of turnkey video production and streaming services. In Command services include filming of sporting events, season highlights, school graduations, corporate infomercials, and documentaries. In Command streams your sporting event or company function over the internet live or on demand. Call 972-851-7888 to raise the energy of your next event. In Command Broadcasting, 972-851-7888.
First inning here at Quick Trip Park. The Jaguars jump out with a 1-0 lead. Sean Weimer goes to the bump. Tell you all about him and about this Timber Creek starting offensive lineup. Here's Thomas Lee.
Weimer, the 6'2", 190-pound senior, signed to play with TCU, comes into the ballgame with a 6-0 record, a save to his credit, a 1.13 earned run average on the year. This is his 11th appearance, his 8th start of the season. Comes in having thrown 37 1/3 innings on the year, surrendering just 21 base hits, 6 runs all earned, 11 walks against 44 strikeouts, has given up a home run, but opponents are batting just 167 against Weimer, and by the way, 25 of the 37 innings he's pitched this season, he's gotten not only the first guy out, the first 2 batters out in a row. So first pitch is swung on and fouled out of play for strike 1. So Weimer on the mound. Timber Creek Falcons will start the following lineup. 15-7-1 this season, a 7-7 record, good for 4th out of 5 6A. Derek Watson, 190-plus wins in his 18 years as a head coach, took over this program before there was a program at Timber Creek. 77-2 now in his 6th year, the only head coach the Falcons have ever had. Last year, 20 wins, 8 losses, a tie overall. Missed the playoffs by 1 game out of 4-5A, finishing behind Keller, Fossil Ridge, Richland, Keller Central. Swings through that one. It's a 3-pitch strikeout for Weimer. And Brian Klein, future Texas Tech shortstop, is retired on 3 straight pitches. Klein came in hitting .411 on the season.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Good afternoon.
Exactly.
Good night. 1 out. 411, huh?
It's pretty good stuff.
That's pretty solid.
Weimer to work now against Carlos Reyes. Catches on the outside corner, first strike. Klein leading things off. The junior headed to Texas Tech, the shortstop tonight for the Falcons. In the leadoff spot now at the plate, the senior catcher, Carlos Reyes. That pitch is high. First ball thrown by Weimer. And Dalton Davies, the junior catcher, batting third. He's on deck right now. Second baseman Reyes fouls that one off, and Weimer ahead again, 1-2. So Klein struck out, Reyes at the plate, 1-2 count. Davies on deck, the junior catcher. That's the top third of the lineup. This one is a hard hit ground ball down the line to first. Scott with a handoff to Weimer. 3-1 ground out, and for the 26th time this season, Sean Weimer retires the first two batters in order. Middle third of the order, senior third baseman Ty Davidson is batting fourth, batting fifth. The freshman designated hitter, Mateo Gill. In the sixth spot, junior first baseman Hunter Porter. Bottom third of the order, Ryan Van Leeuwen, the senior left fielder, is batting seventh, batting eighth. Austin Gage, the senior right fielder, and the center fielder, Anthony Orta, the junior, in the ninth spot. First pitch ball by Weimer. He comes back attacking the zone. This one dips underneath it, though. Davies ahead now 2-0. So Klein struck out. Reyes ground out to first. Davies to plate with a 2-0 count. Make it 2-1. Middle third, Davidson, Gill, Porter. Bottom third, Van Leeuwen, Gage, and Orta. 2-1 from Weimer. Trying to get that call on the outside. Nice frame job try by Thornquist, but he doesn't get the call. 3-1 now the count. Skylar Cox in left field. Jameson Hanna in center. Chad Paris over and right. All with pretty normal depth as a walk is issued to Davies. And Davies will be lifted for a courtesy runner, as coming in is Jacob Slaughter, the 5'8", 170-pound junior. Slaughter now running for Davies on first base with two gone here, bottom of the first. Up steps the third baseman, Davidson. Swings at the first pitch, fouls it down the line, strike one. Davidson, 268 average on the year. Top of the lineup with great numbers. Even Gill coming up next at DH at 300 and falls off a tad bit in the bottom half of the lineup. Around the infield, Sean Holhouse is the third baseman. Casey Jacobson at short. At second is Noah Hill. Parker Scott at first base, holding on Slaughter. The battery again, Nick Thornquist behind the plate, and on the mound, Sean Weimer. That pitch comes in tight, and the count is 2-1.
Sean's still fighting to find that rhythm that we've seen all season long, Thomas, and he'll get locked in. Could jump on that fastball tonight early.
Hit and run, and that one bounces, I think, off the bag. Hanna's going to come up throwing to third, and is he in time? Yes, it is. What a great play by Hanna. After the single by Davidson, the throw to third to retire Slaughter and the Falcons in the first.
Outstanding throw. Ball hit right on the button. Outstanding throw. One hop to the third baseman. Hornquist, he throws the glove down. We're out of the inning.
In the bottom of the first, no runs on a hit, no errors, one left, one full inning in the book, 1-0, the Jaguars with the lead. And we'll be back to Quick Trip Park in Grand Prairie after these messages. Playoff baseball continues in a moment on Champion Sports Radio.
Writer Gerald Early said that when they study our civilization 2,000 years from now, there will only be three things that Americans will be known for: the Constitution, baseball, and jazz music. GDYO's Jazz Institute provides young musicians in North Texas the opportunity to learn what it means to be a jazz musician through weekly technique classes and combo rehearsals with professional jazz musicians. From the first note to the final round of applause, GDYO Jazz Institute concerts will amaze and delight both hardcore jazz cats and new fans alike. Learn more about the truly original American art form through the GDYO Jazz Institute. Online at gdyo.org/jazz.
Point of Origin Design is your one-stop shop for all your apparel, promotional, event, or team uniform needs. Point of Origin Design is a full-service design and logo creation company that offers a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products. With competitive pricing and quality work, you can't go wrong with Point of Origin Design. It's always best to start at the right point, so visit them online at pointoforigindesign.com. Let them help you plan your next promotional item or design your next t-shirt. That's online at pointoforigindesign.com.
Through one here at Quick Trip Park. Jaguars lead 1-0. Bring you top of the second. Here's Thomas.
First pitch swung through by Thomas Jeffries. It'll be strike one. It'll be 6, 7, and 8 due up here in the second. Jeffries, Thornquist, and Whole House. Alongside Sweet Pete Nielsen, I'm Thomas Lee. So far, so good on the weather front, folks, as Jeffries takes that one low and away. And part of the reason we are here is because of the Astro Play surface that pretty much covers this entire ballpark. This pitch is fouled off, and Ricochet is off the facade and down into the stands. And the count is now a ball and 2 strikes to Jeffries, 6'4", 190-pound senior. Congratulations to Thomas as well. He signed with Paris Junior College this week. That average just keeps ticking up over the course of the district campaign, and now up to 235. Closing in on a 100-point upgrade since we started calling games back in early March. Swinging strikeout, second strikeout of the ball game for Schlabach. 2-3 on the putout, and there's one gone here in the second.
Nice job by the catcher there, Davies, to go down, knock that down, and make the throw to first for the out.
7 inning of Jaguar baseball brought to you in part by Raising Cane's on Main Street in Louisville and FM 407 in Flower Mound. Big supporters of the Jaguars. Their one love is cooked-to-order chicken finger meals along with unique Raising Cane's secret sauce. Jaguar Booster Club wants to thank Cane's for their support. And we're also low and inside, and the catcher Nick Thornquist now with a 2-0 count, 5'8", 170-pound junior, 271 average on the year. Much like Jeffries, just continue to put together quality at-bats, and that's what this coaching staff harps on. Doesn't care what your average is, doesn't care how many runs you drive in. They just want quality at-bats, and Thornquist has been given a lot of those with Danny Wallace and the staff here recently. 297 average as a team just shows you what a solid combination of hitters they have. As that one is high and outside. It's a 3-1 walk.
Really good patience that time by the catcher, and finds his way to first base, and now we'll see a courtesy runner, as we always do for the catcher.
Trevor Jureka, first out of the dugout.
Thomas already the third walk by Schlabach, and you got to take advantage of that.
Up steps Sean Wholehouse, the third baseman, 5'10", 170-pound senior. Fouls the first pitch off for strike one. Let's meet our officiating crew for tonight, shall we?
Ed Lab's plate.
Rick Neverdowski, first base.
Trayton Funderburg, second base.
Buck Tudor, third base.
Four-man crew here in the playoffs, as it will be the rest of the way. Partner, you and I have been juggling schedules and trying to figure out what's going on this week. I can't even imagine what it's like for the different chapters of officials around the state with the impending weather this weekend and what's going to happen.
Man, these guys are out of Tarrant County, so I asked what the rotation would be because it's kind of important for us, and they looked at me and gave me the Larry Hughes famous palms up. What do you mean? We don't know. We don't know where we're going to be tomorrow. So we'll just play it by ear just like everybody else and hope that the weather just holds off and we're able to play baseball all night.
1-1 ground out down the line by Wholehouse. Does move Jureka, the courtesy runner, for Thornquist over to second, but that will be the second out here of the second inning. Jaguars do lead it 1-0. And Chad Paris was swinging a really hot bat as of late, 360 average. Third in terms of those in the lineup here tonight. The speedster is also the stolen base leader. He set a single-season record last year in stolen bases, now with 18 on the season, and hoping he gets another 7 weeks to add to that total. As a pitch catches on the inside corner, the count is now 0-2. 5'11", 155-pound senior, signed with Howard College in Big Spring. 0-2 pitch from Slaybach. Swings through it. Catcher Davies up with it. The throw over just about 2 steps ahead of Paris, and that's the 3rd strikeout for Slaybach, and will close the door on the second. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left. Inning and a half in the books. 1-0 is the score. The Flower Mound Jaguars on top of the Timber Creek Falcons. We'll head to the bottom of the second after these messages on CSR TV.
There's a time and a place for everything.
As you'll see, projections for the next quarter are...
He shoots, he scores! 2 points for Team Middle Management.
The office is not one of them.
Jack, can I see you in my office?
No pouting, it's your ball. Let's see what you got.
But Whirly Ball is. For corporate events, team building, and private parties, Whirly Ball in Hearst and Plano is electric fun. Test your skills on the arcade games. Zip around in your Whirly Bug for a Whirly Ball competition. Or play the most affordable laser tag in the city. Learn more at whirlyball.info.
If you're a basketball parent or coach, you need StatGeek, the simplest way to keep stats ever created. Our easy-to-use iPad app turns anyone into a professional statistician, and all they have to do is simply follow the ball. Produce full and accurate box scores and play-by-play reports. Send accurate stats out to your fans, media, or recruiters. It's sports statistic collection redefined. StatGeek is available right now in the iPad App Store for just $4.99, and there are team fundraising opportunities available as well. On the web at statgeek.com. StatGeek, keep your eye on the ball.
Bottom of the second here at Quick Trip Park. 5, 6, and 7 coming to the plate for Timber Creek. Jaguars lead 1-0. Here's Thomas.
Five, 6, and 7. Gill, Porter, Van Leeuwen. So first pitch is swung on and popped up high to the air to right field. Paris tracking under it. He makes a catch, and Mateo Gill is retired. A fly ball to right, first out here. In the second, this half inning brought to you in part by Syracuse Sausage, the best sausage in Texas. Pick one up at the Jaguar concession stand if Flower Mound gets to play any more games at the Mound this season. Or for these road games, most road games, there will be the tailgate in the parking lot. I think tonight was a little too early to get that done. Jags want to thank Syracuse Sausage for a 6-year partnership. First pitch is strike one to Hunter Porter, the junior first baseman, a 163 average on the year. This one bounces in. And you and I are a little perspiration on the forehead, perhaps in the glove of the pitcher as well, as that one looked like it slipped out of his hands.
The word of the evening might be sticky. It's a little sticky out there. The humidity may be up over 100%. And sometimes you'll squeeze the ball too hard, and that's what will happen. There's that fastball. Love to see that from Weimer.
Fastball, low 90s, power breaking ball, great changeup, and he's been working on a split finger. Not sure if the coaches have allowed him to throw it just yet, but another strikeout. That's number 2 for Weimer, and once again, he gets the first 2 guys out before fans can settle back in the seats.
Yeah, and when he throws that fastball, Thomas, it's up in the zone. It makes it even harder to catch up to.
Van Leeuwen, the left fielder, takes the first pitch.
Ooh.
Weimer comes inside. Now 2-ball, no strike count. I think we have the final rankings we're going to get around the area and around the state. I think they're pretty much everyone's going to lay off now and let the bracket determine who's the best on their own, as it's now a 3-0 count to Ryan Van Leeuwen, 6'2", 185-pound senior, looking for his first hit of the season. More than likely content to just get a free pass. Let's see what Weimer does. The pitch can't find the zone. 4-pitch walk. Second walk issued by Weimer, and eerily similar to the first inning. A strikeout and a ground out. This time it was a fly out and a strikeout. And then, after showing dominant control, a walk.
really like to see what Nick Thornquist just did. Went out and settled his big right-hander down and said, hey, Sean, this is the bottom of the order. Go get him. Don't pitch around these guys. Go attack the strike zone, and be interesting to see if this first pitch is what I expected to be a fastball right down the middle.
Austin Gage, 5'10", 170-pound senior right fielder. It's a throw over to first, and Van Leeuwen back in time. Jaguars ended the year as the #1 team in the Dallas Morning News final area rankings. This one is swung on a little check swing to Hill. He's going to have to hurry. Underhand toss with the glove on the money. Makes it look so easy. Hill and Jacobson up the middle. It's been the stalwart backbone of this Jaguar team that's won 3 consecutive district championships. In the second, no runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left, 2 full in the books, 1-0 is your score. Flower Mound on top, and we'll be back to Quick Trip Park after these messages. Playoff baseball continues in a moment on Champion Sports Radio.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention estimates that nearly 4 million brain injuries occur every year due to sports in the U.S. They also estimate that 70% of concussions go unreported. Not identifying concussions early can be devastating, especially if the athlete continues to play with symptoms. Catching hard hits fast is critical, and that's why you need the Shockbox Helmet Impact Sensor. The Shockbox is a small sensor that easily attaches to most football, lacrosse, and hockey helmets and instantly sends a signal to a smartphone on the sidelines when the player has taken a hard hit that puts them at higher risk for injury. The free app receives data from the sensor, displays information about the impact, and even walks the user through a concussion assessment. The app also logs symptom and impact data for future medical use. Visit ShopboxDFW.com to learn more about the Shockbox Impact Alert Sensor and determine if it is the right option for your child. Be warned instantly when a player has experienced a head impact that could result in a concussion. Visit ShopboxDFW.com today. ShopboxDFW.com.
Top half of the third inning here at Quick Trip Park. Top of the order, Noah Hill at the plate. And, Thomas, how many times does it happen? The guy makes a great defensive play, and he leads off the inning. I wish I had a nickel for every time it happens.
Well, Hill is the only man to hit the pay station tonight at the ball game. Jaguars lead at 1-0. It was on Noah's leadoff walk. He came around to score an RBI single by Jamison Hanna. Takes the first pitch at the knees for strike 1. Talking before the break about the latest area rankings. In fact, they'll be the final area rankings. As the Jaguars, a couple weeks ago, passed Jesuit. Have been in the top spot ever since. Jags 1, Jesuit 2, and then not the only real shakeup that happened after that, the Trinity Trojans. And can we talk about maybe the surprise team in North Texas this year? I don't know what they're doing different over there, but this is such a dominant team. 19-3 on the year, and now currently the third-ranked team in the area as the 1-2 pitch is grounded on by Hill too short. Long stretch, and Klein's throw is on the money. 6-3 ground out, and Hill's retired for the first out here in the third.
I'll tell you what Trinity does, and a lot of teams have struggled with this all year. They hit the baseball. They hit the baseball. They are really sound defensively, and their pitching is just good enough to get them by. And you're right, they are a surprise, and that district is just as crazy as the district that you guys got to call all year. And being part of that all year, they are the surprise. And just like the Richland Rebels, same story there.
Pitch is swung on by Cox, high into the air to center. One pitch and an out as Orta makes the catch in center. Fly ball off the bat of Cox. And they're quickly 2 gone here in the third. This half inning brought to you by Kohl's. You can expect great things from Kohl's and the Kohl's Cares Community Volunteer Program. Kohl's, a proud 6-year sponsor of Flower Mound Jaguar Championship Baseball. 5 pitches thrown here in this inning by Slaybach. I figured Weimer might be taking there as the savvy senior. gets ahead in the count 1-0. So after the 3 spot in Trinity, 3 more Champion Sports Radio teams.
Look out, Danny.
As Coach Wallace deflects that one. And I think the home plate umpire is going to walk out, and he's going to make sure that the Jaguar head coach is fine. He's nodding. He's like, yeah, I'm okay. I'm good.
He ain't going to rub it, I promise you. He will not rub it. I got the camera on you to show you. He's not going to rub it. Third base umpire gave him a hard time about it.
Coppell checks it at 4th, Marcus 5th, and Carroll 6th. That gives Champion Sports Radio 4 of the top 6 teams in the area. As the pitch is high, and the count is 2-1. Of course, stay with us here from Quick Trip Park. We'll have the Carroll Dragons taking on the Midlothian Panthers after the conclusion of this one. And if you're so inclined, Coppell's taking on Cedar Hill at Longhorn Field. Ryan Mueller bringing you that one here in a little less than an hour. Usual suspects filling out the top 10 in the area, though. Martin Warriors 7, Highland Park moving up to 6A, and no problem. They're 22-5 on the year. They're at 8. Keller Indians, who Timber Creek knows all about, currently 9th, and Rockwall checks in at 10th.
I'll tell you a team that surprises me that's not in that 10th is Carroll's opponent, Midlothian.
High into the air to center field, ranging over, now giving way to the left fielder, Van Leeuwen. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for the first time in the ball game for either team as Slaybach retires top 3rd in the Jaguar order. No runs, hits, errors, nobody left. 2.5 in the books. Jaguars lead at 1-0. Playoff baseball continues in a moment on CSR TV.
Are you looking for a way to promote your business or increase exposure? Do you just need more people to know that you're there? Join the Champion Sports Radio team and advertise during these games. In the last 4 years, Champion Sports Radio has broadcast over 600 games to more than 3.5 million listeners. And Champion Sports Radio wants to help you use major high school sports to reach thousands of local fans right in your community. Think about it. Die-hard fans just like you tune in each and every week, giving your business unparalleled access to the community. It's the perfect way for smaller individually owned businesses to cultivate a core clientele or expand their already loyal customer base. To secure your prime commercial spot during the broadcast, contact Thomas Lee at Champion Sports Radio by phone at 972-741-0334. That's 972-741-0334 or online at championsportsradio.com. Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship broadcast.
Grand Prairie is the place. Quick Trick Park is the stadium. 1-0 Flower Mound leads over Keller Timber Creek. 9-1-2 coming to the plate to face Sean Weimer. And here's Thomas Lee.
Weimer facing off in the 9-1-2, as Peter told you. Orta, Klein, Reyes. Couple of walks and a hit in the first 2 innings surrendered by Weimer, and that's it. Only 2 left. Hear the pop and the explosion of the fastball from strike 1.
It sounded like a strike.
Orta, the 5'7", 140-pound junior center fielder with a .210 average coming in. And above average speed as well. The count is 1-1. Talking about the area rankings, you were pointing out a noticeable team missing. That'll be Carroll's opponent tonight, Midlothian. So Midlothian's not in the area top 10 according to Sports Day HS and the Dallas Morning News. They are in the state top 10, the Texas High School Baseball Coaches Association poll.
Okay.
Might be an oversight.
Yeah.
By, I think Corbett Smith does those rankings for the Morning News.
And Thomas, all that tells you, and Corbett does a great job, but what it tells you is there's so many good baseball teams in this area. We are totally so gifted that we get a chance to see such good baseball every Tuesday and Friday night. night.
And he knew it.
He struck himself out. I don't think the umpire was going to call it a strike, and he started walking to the dugout.
Horta knew it, wanted to pull the trigger, and didn't. Left the bat on his shoulder. Third strikeout by Weimer. That's the first out here in bottom of the third. This half inning brought to you in part by Rapid Med Urgent Care in Highland Village, a family-owned business delivering the best, most convenient medical care to friends and neighbors. Range of services include primary care to urgent care, immunizations, school and sports physicals, and so much more. Visit rapidmed.com for more information. Lineup resets, and Brian Klein struck out on 3 pitches in the first. Takes the first pitch for ball one, 5'10", 170-pound junior. Verbal commit to Texas Tech. And a possible future teammate of Jaguar junior pitcher Caleb Killian, as both have verbally committed to the Red Raiders. Pretty good baseball program they've got out there in West Texas. May not be your Horned Frogs, but I don't have the history of my Longhorns, but they're always a tough out.
Oh.
Again, fouled back and rattling around. And it'll be strike 2 in the at-bat. Texas High School Baseball Coaches Association poll. I think this will be the final poll that they will release this year. They still are in love with the Laredo Alexander. They do just have one loss in the season. But Alexander, number 1, Flower Mound, number 2, as both were undefeated district champions. And for the second consecutive batter, Weimer strikes out a Falcon looking. It's a 1-2. Great late movement on what I think was a changeup as it kind of bent back in, caught the corner, and Klein paralyzed at the plate. 4th K of the game for Weimer.
Yeah, it took a lot off of that one and froze him. And a great location as well.
So for the third time in as many innings, Weimer retires the first 2 batters in order to lead off the frame. It's so hard to score in baseball if you're always having to start your rallies with 2 outs, and that's what Weimer does as good as anybody in the state. Reyes, a 310 average coming in, grounded out down the line to Scott back in the first. That top 10 in the state, the Texas High School Baseball Coaches Association poll has Jesuit third. Other teams of note, San Antonio Reagan, the team that the Jaguars defeated for the championship last June. They're 7th, so they'll be back in it. Coppell checks in at 8. Midlothian, 10th, and Marcus in the other receiving votes category. This one has swung on and fouled off down the line.
Oh, hot sports opinion from me, and I think you'll share this opinion. There's no better baseball in the Metroplex, and those teams that are ranked number 1, 2, and 4, or whatever you said, they ain't playing the schedule that these teams are playing. And I think we saw that last year when we went to Round Rock, how dominant this Flower Mound bunch was. And I think we both have the opinion that the 2 semifinal teams that played in that series to go to Round Rock, that was the state championship. So we'll see if that's the case this year.
Swing and a miss. Weimer strikes out the side in the third. No runs, hits, errors, nobody left. Sean's first 1-2-3 inning of the ball game, and put a bow on the first 3 innings of this one. Jaguars lead at 1-0 on the leadoff walk by Noah Hill, plated on an RBI single by Jamison Hanna. The Jaguars still holding on to that 1-0 lead as we head to the 4th after these messages on CSR TV.
Many heart conditions can be fixed, but many of us don't know we have a problem until it's too late. On April 2nd, 2009, Zachary Schraw, a 16-year-old sophomore offensive lineman, died of sudden cardiac arrest, the number 1 cause of death among student athletes. Like so many SCA victims, Zach had no heart issues, nor did anyone in his family. If Zach had an echocardiogram, he might have been able to avoid suffering a condition that takes 10,000 of our youth each year. In his memory, Living for Zachary was formed to try and prevent SCA from taking the lives of youth everywhere. Join in the fight today and stop the silent killer of SCA by scheduling your young athlete for an echocardiogram, a procedure that can detect any heart issue with 99% accuracy. For more information, visit www.livingforzachary.org. That's living4zachary.org, and let your heart be heard.
Top half of the fourth inning here at Quick Trip Park. 1-0 Jaguars lead. 4, 5, and 6 coming to the plate for your Jaguars and tell you all about it. The voice of Flower Mound Jaguar baseball, Thomas Lee.
Hanna digs in. He has been the deciding bat in this particular contest. Lone Jaguar hit, plated a run in Hill back in the first, and that's how our score still remains 1-0. Jay's bat's been heating up lately. He heats up this one and drives it to center field, turning the center fielder Orta around. Great spin on the pitch by Slayball and great contact by Hanna, but it will be the first out here in the top of the fourth as Hanna's retired in a fly ball to Anthony Orta in center.
We talked about how humid it is. That's going to prevent the ball from flying, although Jamison hit that on the button. Maybe he misjudged a little bit by the center fielder, but he was able to track back and make the catch. But the heavy air definitely had an effect on that ball.
So up steps Casey Jacobson. Senior takes a pitch downstairs for ball one. This half inning Jaguar baseball brought to you apart by Point of Origin Design, your one-stop shop for apparel, promotional, event, or team uniform needs. They offer a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products. Jacobson swings on this one, high into the air again. Orta about 5 steps back, and he's under it, ready to make that catch. 2 up and 2 down. Point of Origin Design has competitive pricing and quality work. You just can't go wrong. And visit pointoforigindesign.com for more information. In fact, there are the producers of the new playoff shirts for the Jaguars with the big 3-peat on the front. Great design. They also, I can sit here and talk about what Steve and Barb have done, but the Hills do a great job with designing these things. The state championship shirts, the playoff shirts last year, and even the Champion Sports Radio logo you see in the upper left corner. All designed by the Hills.
Imagine that.
Thomas Jeffries down in the count, 0-2, 2 gone here, top of the fourth. And now Slaybach has him set up 1-2. Scouting report on Timber Creek is Slaybach is the horse. In fact, if it was a one-game series, I think a lot of people would go, man, Timber Creek has a chance with the depth of the pitching staff for the Jaguars. And this being a 3-game series, I don't know how many people you could find that would share that sentiment in the series. But a nice play here by Slaybach as he fields and throws over 2 firsts. It's a 1-3 ground out. Back-to-back 1-2-3 innings. Now 8 in a row retired by Slaybach. In the fourth, no runs, hits, errors, nobody left. Halfway through the ball game, 1-0 Jaguars with the lead. Back to Quick Trip Park after these messages on Champion Sports Radio. Are you tired of only spending time as a family huddled around the TV? Would you like to enjoy some culture with your loved ones without breaking the bank? Then let me introduce you to the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra. The GDYO provides music education and performance opportunities for musically talented youth, but this is no kids' concert. The GDYO comprises 7 different ensembles made up of over 425 talented musicians ages 8 to 18, representing more than 50 communities in North Texas. You won't believe how amazing these ensembles sound until you hear it for yourself. So join them for one of their concerts at the Meyerson Symphony Center or Dallas City Performance Hall. For more information on how to make a donation, as well as a listing of upcoming GDYO concerts, visit gdyo.org. And if you know a talented young musician interested in an unbelievable experience, auditions take place in the spring. Connect with the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and at gdyo.org.
Bottom half of the fourth inning, Sean Weimer back on the bump for the Jaguars. Jaguars continue to lead 1-0. Part of the order coming to the plate. For the Falcons, tell you all about it. Here's Thomas Lee.
They are just now fixing the scoreboard. I think somebody may have stepped on a plug. I don't know exactly what happened. 1-0 is the score, each team with a hit.
Still not sure who this 2107 DB is.
Well, they're having a rough night of it. As
That's the
guests,
Falcons.
The guests lead the 2107 DBers 1-0. That's Flower Mound. The visiting team here in Game 1 will be the home team tomorrow night for Game 2. And the scoreboard now fixed. 1-0 your score. First pitch from Weimer here to Dalton Davies. And when you hear that kind of a pop, you know it's been a good night for Sean Weimer's now thrown 42 pitches, 25 of them for strikes.
Uh-oh.
This one comes through and gets off the shin of our home plate umpire. Given up just one hit, struck out 5, has walked a pair. But has retired 4 in a row and 6 of 7. 1-1 from Weimer. Swung on, fouled out of play. Ball and 2 strikes count.
You said it earlier how often he pitches ahead. Boy, oh boy, it's like a broken record. He remains ahead of almost every batter. Not a bad problem to have.
No, absolutely not. That's what you want. This one a ground ball. Jacobson fields it. The throw over is going to have to be on the money, and it is. Scott stretches and scoops as it hits the glove on the ground.
Well, I talked about it earlier, how great of a defensive shortstop Casey Jacobson is. And there you go. Deep in the hole, strong throw, gets the runner by a step, 1 out. And when you have that kind of defense, that also builds your confidence as a pitcher.
Jacobson makes the most difficult plays look routine and has for 3 years on the varsity as Ty Davidson steps up, the only Falcon with a hit. In fact, one of only 2 players in the ball game with a hit. He and Hannah sharing those honors. And the 0-1 from Weimer. Grounder back up the middle. Another chance for Jacobson to flash the leather. Strong throw over. It had to be. Nice speed by Davidson. It's another 6-3 ground out. Back-to-back ground outs to the shortstop Jacobson, and there are 2 gone here in the 4th. This half inning brought to you in part by Quick Car Full-Service Auto Repair and Car Wash. Visit Quick Car at 2499 and FM 3040. For all your repair, service, car wash, and detail needs, Quick Car, proud 4-year sponsor, Jaguar Baseball.
Well, we've seen him go to his left. Now we've seen him go to his right. Pretty solid right there. Hit one right at him.
Jacobson had a play, I think it was about 3 weeks ago, against Louisville, where he was running. It was up the middle. He ran, had to extend to catch it, and did about a 270 spin and throw and robbed a hitter. And Noah Hill saying, hey, I can do this too. He scoops and slings it over to Scott at first. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Weimer. An 8-pitch effort here in the 4th. No runs, hits, errors, nobody left. 4 full in the books, 1-0. Jaguars continue to lead. Playoff baseball continues in a moment. CSR TV.
Stay up on all the latest news about the teams you care about and know when your favorite games are on the air thanks to Champion Sports Radio social media. Either follow @Champion Sports on Twitter or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio, and you will know what time your game starts, who was named Player of the Week, or what your school's alumni are doing in college. That's on Twitter @Champion Sports and facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship social media.
In Command Broadcasting, a sports TV broadcasting and marketing company. In Command Broadcasting provides a wide array of turnkey video production and streaming services. In Command services include filming of sporting events, season highlights, school graduations, corporate infomercials, and documentaries. In Command streams your sporting event or company function over the internet live or on demand. Call 972-851-7888 to raise the energy of your next event. In Command Broadcasting, 972-851-7888.
Take me out to the ball game.
1-0, top of the 5th here at Quick Trip Park, and Mother Nature starting to make a little bit of a statement here, Thomas, but not too much to stop play.
I feel good about tonight, Peter.
I know you do.
We've been texting back and forth. I've been watching. we've had so much turmoil in schedules and rainouts and weather-related stuff. I feel good about tonight. 1-1 the count here as Thornquist leading it off.
Yeah, I woke up this morning, and as I was getting ready to go to the office, I was to myself, I hope this doesn't turn into a 15-hour day. But so far, so good. I'm going with Joe. All right. You want to talk about shortstops making a play. Wow.
Yeah. Texas Tech verbal commit Brian Klein with a throw deep in the hole. And Thornquist is not a stereotypical slow catcher. He moves really well, and he was moving down the line. Strong throw there by Klein and a 1-1 ground out to short for the first out here in the fifth. That's now 9 in a row, and 11 out of 12 retired by Isaac Slaybaugh and Timber Creek. What's the old adage? If you're going to get to a good pitcher, you got to do it early. Well, that's what happened here tonight. 1 run in the top of the first on a leadoff walk in the ball game by Hill, driven in. And a 1-out RBI single by Hanna, the only scoring we've had for either team. As Slaybaugh comes back inside now on Whole House. And Sean with a great 2-0 count here. Third baseman grounded out down the line to Porter at first back in the second. Tries to go outside corner. 3-0 the count. This half inning brought to you by Heaven's Best, a worldwide leader in carpet and upholstery cleaning, with services including rug cleaning, leather cleaning, tile and grout, and hardwood floor cleaning. Heaven's Best dry in 1 hour process has exceptional results for carpets that are dry in, well, how long do you think, Peter?
A long time.
1 hour. Dry in just 1 hour.
Hey, you jinxed him. 9 in a row, and now we got a base runner.
HeavensBest.com for more information.
Good job, Thomas.
Fourth walk issued by Slaybaugh.
1 hour, eh?
Yeah.
It's a long time.
Pretty good. Come on.
That's good.
That's what I'm saying. Exceptional results.
I'm with you.
Nothing worse than having the carpets clean. You can't get in the house for half a day.
Agreed.
First pitch, ball 1 to Paris. Whole House with a small, modest lead off of first. Slaybaugh kicks and fires and comes inside, and the count is now 2-0. Now, 6 consecutive balls thrown by Isaac Slaybaugh for Timber Creek, and that'll send the catcher Davies out to the mound. So we checked on the Texas High School Baseball Coaches Association poll, the Texas Prep Baseball Top 25 poll. The Twitter handle is Texas 6A Baseball. They released their final poll on Monday. Jaguars once again on top, number 1. Jesuit at 2. Other teams of note, Coppell 7th. Reagan 10th. Marcus at 12th. As they've had a really nice season just in the shadows of the Jaguars. Trojans check in at 18th. Surprisingly, no Coppell. In a top 25 polls, we're going to have a pinch runner here for Whole House on first. Bailey Champagne comes on. Some more speed here as Danny Wallace is looking for some more insurance. As the Jaguars lead 1-0. Batting here top of the 5th inning. Champagne, the 6'1", 170-pound junior, comes in having stolen 7 bases, has not been thrown out this season.
Got to be extra careful, though, Thomas, with the left-hander. And let's see his move. We haven't seen it yet.
He's got 2. He's got this fast little snap throw like you saw there. And then he's got the deliberate step off, take a deep breath, soft toss
Those
over.
Darn lefties.
I don't know why they have to be so crafty. Champagne takes off the pitch. It's inside, and not even a throw will come as Champagne swipes his 8th base of the season. Better than that, Paris with a 3-1 count now. Showing bunt. The pitch is high. They're trying to throw to second, and they get Champagne. Well, the walk issued to Paris, and then a quick throw by Davies to second. And Reyes applies the tag. Champagne is retired. That'll be the second out here in the top of the 5th. So Paris is aboard. Two gone. Lineup resets, and Noah Hill will step to the plate. Paris takes off. The throw is on the first base side. Sliding in safely is Chad with his 19th stolen base of the season. 1-0 the count here to Hill. Swung on down the line, fading foul and out of play, and caught by a group of students over there beyond the bullpen area. That's strike one of the at-bat. Yeah, the Texas 6A baseball poll, I'm not quite as convinced is accurate. The Texas HighSchoolBaseball.com poll, on the other hand, I think those guys have it figured out pretty well.
Yeah.
Flower Mound's the top spot, number one. As we go through some of the others here, as this pitch is a ball, 2-1 the count here to Hill.
Let me ask you this. How much do you think of that Flower Mound ranking is a carryover from last year? Sure, they got the skins on the wall as well this year, but how much do you think of that as a carryover?
It's tough because last year's team, the perception for people who didn't get to see them, it was all about those three pitchers who are now in the Big 12.
That's not true.
And also that certain young man playing in Fort Worth who's leading the Big 12 in batting average. You know, It's like without those guys, how could they possibly be this good? Well, first of all, Coach Wallace and his staff not only are taking advantage of the tremendous talent that's coming through, they're developing that talent. You know, we're hot off lots of NFL draft talk, but that's definitely one of the key things you have to talk about here. Not only do they get great talent at Flower Mound, as another walk is worked by Hill, his second of the game. 27 now on the season for Deuce.
6 walks on the night now for Schlaubeck, and Jaguars knocking on the door here with 2 out, and here goes Coach Watson to have a word with his pitcher.
Derek Watson, in his 6th year, the only head coach that Timber Creek's ever known, trying to settle things down for Schlaubeck. There are 2 outs here, so I don't think he'll make a change. He's just trying to get guys locked in. And now the meeting on the mound is going to break up, but Flower Mound wasn't number one in all these polls the whole year.
I know, that was my point. And, you know, I think a lot has to go back with the conversation we had before Weimer struck out the side real quick. It's the reputation of the district that Flower Mound plays in, I think, has a lot of weight. And to go through that district, even though they won a bunch of one-run games early, man, undefeated in that district, that's talking.
Yeah, the last 3 weeks it hadn't been close. 5 runs, the closest ball game that they've played since a thriller against Hebron at the mound. This one high into the air by Cox. Second baseman tracking it, and Reyes makes the catch. So, good visit to the mound by Derek Watson, head coach of the Falcons, as the next pitch is popped up in the infield, and the threat is dissolved for the Jaguars. In the 5th, no runs, no hits, no errors, a pair of runners left aboard. Stretch time here at Quick Trip Park. Jaguars 1, Falcons nothing. We head to the bottom of the 5th after these messages on Champion Sports Radio and CSR TV.
There's a time and a place for everything.
As you'll see, projections for the next quarter are...
He shoots, he scores! 2 points for team middle management.
The office is not one of them.
Jack, can I see you in my office?
No pouting, it's your ball. Let's see what you got.
But Whirly Ball is. For corporate events, team building, and private parties, Whirly Ball in Hearst and Plano is electric fun. Test your skills on the arcade games. Zip around in your Whirly Bug for a Whirly Ball competition. Or play the most affordable laser tag in the city. Learn more at whirlyball.info.
If you're a basketball parent or coach, you need Stacky, the simplest way to keep stats ever created. Our easy-to-use iPad app turns anyone into a professional statistician, and all they have to do is simply follow the ball. Produce full and accurate box scores and play-by-play reports. Send accurate stats out to your fans, media, or recruiters. It's sports statistic collection redefined. Stat Geek is available right now in the iPad App Store for just $4.99, and there are team fundraising opportunities available as well. On the web at statgeek.com. StatGeek, keep your eye on the ball.
Bottom half of 5 here at Quick Trip Park. Jaguars continue to lead 1-0. Sean Weimer on the mound. Retired 7 in a row coming into the bottom half of the 5th. Here's Thomas.
49 pitches, 30 for strikes. He's gotten the first 2 batters out in each of the first 4 innings, and he starts off by getting Hunter Porter to swing through a pitch. 0-1 the count. We talked about this already. 1 through 5. Great averages, great offensive production. 6 through 9, not quite the same level that the top half of the order is in. See if Weimer can take advantage of that as he quickly jumps out 0-2.
There's not many batters he's been behind, and it's just so much easier. You talked about how much easier it is to pitch when you got solid defense and a lead. But pitching from ahead is such an advantage as well.
1-2 the count here as the Falcons bat. In the bottom of the 5th, Jaguars lead it 1-0. They're the road team, or as the scoreboard says, guests. 2-2 the count. We were talking about the TexasHighSchoolBaseball.com poll a moment ago. Jaguars 1. They had Jesuit at 4, and kind of tipping their cap as this one is high heat. Porter swings through it. 6 Ks now for Weimer in the first out here in the 5th.
Second time he's gotten Porter with that high heat and absolute perfect pitch. He's not going to catch. Not many people are going to catch up with that 90-mile-an-hour fastball up there in the zone.
Yeah, I think Jesuit's district is hurting them in some of these polls.
Okay, Mr. Breckologist.
I think so. We'll talk about some of the national ones here in a minute, but that district, they win every game by run ruling people. It's not that they're not talented. It's just they're not showing what they can do against quality competition, and therefore they're sliding a little bit.
They will in 2 weeks,
yeah.
And then you really find out about them. And, in a lot of ways, you'll find out about some of these teams not from this area that'll have to travel a little bit to play some other teams. San Antonio Reagan, we saw them last year. What kind of road are they going to have to get back? It's just such, you just don't know. And that's why you've heard this for how many years? This is why we play the game. So, there's maybe a reason. Maybe people know why Midlothian's not in the top 20 in the area, but number 9 in the state. Who knows? That one's got me shaking my head a little bit, though.
Ryan Van Leeuwen at the plate, a 1-2 count from Weimer. The big righty kicks and fires. Wow. Beautiful frame job. Another looking strikeout. Give him 7 total in the game.
I think Weimer's getting stronger. You said in the top half of the inning how you have to get after a pitcher early. Well, same thing for Sean Weimer. He's absolute 9 in a row now, and the strikeouts continue to mount up.
7th inning of Jaguar Baseball brought to you by AOS Engineering, a commercial, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing engineering firm based in Plano. They're registered in multiple states and provide engineering services for multiple types of projects. Visit aos-engineering.com to see how they can help you on your next project. Austin Gage, the senior right fielder, digging in. 1-0 grounded. Diving catch made by Scott at first. Oh, my. What a play by Parker Scott. Put a gold star by that one, folks, and that makes it 10 consecutive batters retired by Sean Weimer. In the 5th, no runs, hits, errors, nobody left. 5 full in the books. Jags with a 1-0 lead. Back to Grand Prairie after these messages on CSR TV.
Writer Gerald Early said that when they study our civilization 2,000 years from now, there will only be 3 things that Americans will be known for: the Constitution, baseball, and jazz music. GDYO's Jazz Institute provides young musicians in North Texas the opportunity to learn what it means to be a jazz musician through weekly technique classes and combo rehearsals with professional jazz musicians. From the first note to the final round of applause, GDYO Jazz Institute concerts will amaze and delight both hardcore jazz cats and new fans alike. Learn more about the truly original American art form through the GDYO Jazz Institute. Online at gdyo.org/jazz.
Point of Origin Design is your one-stop shop for all your apparel, promotional, event, or team uniform needs. Point of Origin Design is a full-service design and logo creation company that offers a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products. With competitive pricing and quality work, you can't go wrong with Point of Origin Design. It's always best to start at the right point, so visit them online at pointoforigindesign.com. Let them help you plan your next promotional item or design your next t-shirt. That's online at pointoforigindesign.com.
Top half of the sixth inning here at Quick True Park. Jaguars continue to lead 1-0. Jaguars 1 hit, 1 run, no errors. For the Falcons, no runs, 1 hit, no errors. And sixth inning, Sean Weimer steps in for the Jaguars. Here's Thomas.
3, 4, and 5 here in the sixth, and the first pitch inside, ball 1. We have breaking baseball news. Alex Rodriguez has passed Willie Mays for 4th on the home run list. And nobody cares.
That's why I didn't bring it up.
There might be one Yankee fan listening that I'm going to get a tweet or an email from, but let's be honest.
No one cares.
Nobody cares. I think they're media's making a much bigger deal of this than
450 of them shouldn't count. Oh, there's a hot sports opinion.
That is a hot sports opinion.
Even Alec gave me a look. Welcome in the doctor.
Weimer heading the count, 2 balls and no strikes. Weimer swinging for the fences there.
Had big shoes to step in on that camera over there, your normal partner. Hope I did him justice.
Doc's all settled up and ready to go. No sausage, though. He's going to be fuming for a while.
And he's dressed up. Dang.
That's how we do things here at Flowermouth.
How do you get the memo?
Ties all the time. Shirt and tie. Or as Justin Timberlake would say, suit and tie. But either way.
Tie. Yeah. Don't start singing.
That TexasHighSchoolBaseball.com top 25 poll at Flower Mountain 1, Marcus 10th, Coppell 11th, Hebron 18th. As a ground ball gets through the left side, base hit for Weimer. Second hit off of Slaybach. Here today for the Jaguars, leadoff single. And let's see who's going to be coming in to run. I think it's going to be Alex Jensen. Jensen, the 5'9", 165-pound junior, now running for the pitcher. Weimer on first base, so leadoff man aboard for just the second time in the ball game. The first time it happened, Noah Hill walked and was driven home on a hit by Hannah. Jensen, 6 stolen bases in 8 attempts this season. The junior now running at first. Jay digs in, 367 average coming in. Drove in his 20th run of the year back in the first. Soft toss over to first, and Jensen back in time easily. So here's a question on this, Peter. They got Trinity at 17, Hebron at 18. That's a series that I think would be a lot of fun to watch right there.
Yeah, and you know, the Hebron bunch playing in the district, you got to see them this year. I have not seen the Hebron Hawks for the first time in probably about 25 years of seeing a baseball game over at Hebron because we were just too busy doing Carroll baseball, which was a lot of fun. But you guys tell me, I know Coach Stone was excited when I talked to him in the fall, and I know in the brief a couple times we've talked about them. Pretty good, and they're young. A bunch of them are back, and another guy going to get picked off. Ooh.
Very close bang-bang play at first, and Jensen back just ahead of the throw. Yeah, with Deloach anchoring things down and New Stifter continuing to blast balls out of the ballpark, it's a team. It's probably one of the better offensive teams that Coach Stone has had in his 15 years at Hebron. As the throw down to second is going to be a little tardy. 7th stolen base of the year for Jensen.
And, you know, with Deloach, you also get him as a weapon on the mound as well. So don't sleep on the Hebron Hawks. They play in that tough district, and they only get better by playing in that district. If you're their first-round opponent, don't think because they're a 3 seed that they're a walkover.
We'll talk about those matchups here Runner on second. 2-0 count. Nobody out. Bunt down. Hannah. Perfect placement. The throw is not going to be anywhere near in time. Beautiful drop shot by Hannah on the third base side of the mound. It's an infield single. The Jaguars have runners at the corners with nobody out here in the top of the sixth.
Well, the first purpose of that bunt was to get the runner to third base with less than 2 outs, and it was such a good bunt, he beat it out, so now runners on the corners, nobody out, and just when you think this Jaguar offense is going to settle down, they're showing signs of coming to life.
Jensen, the movement from him going from second to third of the plate, drew the third baseman over to cover the bag, and that left nobody but Isaac Slaybach, the starting pitcher, to try to make what would have been a Herculean play to field it and throw out the speedy Hannah as Jacobson gets out of the way of that one. 1-0 the count here to Casey. He's due 0 for 2 today. Team leader in batting average .390 and in RBIs with 23 coming into the day. Taking off. The throw is going to be cut off, and Hannah's going to swipe the bag. Runners now second and third. Still nobody out here top of the sixth and a 2-0 count to Jacobson.
And this is Jaguar baseball at its best, right? First and third, nobody out. Runner automatically is going. Put the pressure on the defense, and now with that said, they're in on the corners. Don't be surprised if Brian Klein, the shortstop, and Carlos Reyes, the second baseman, move in as well. Playing halfway now, and that kind of surprises me.
Quarter infielders even with the bag. Middle infielders kind of halfway through, and Jacobson bangs this one through the left side for a base hit. Stop sign is up, but it's an RBI single for Casey Jacobson. He does it again. He gives the Jaguars a 2-0 lead.
3 hits in a row now for the Jaguars. That time, Casey hits it between the shortstop and the third baseman. Hits it too hard because Van Leeuwen comes in and makes a great throw, and Hannah's not able to score, but back to first and third, nobody out.
Darren Arnold will come on and run for Jacobson now at first base. So you got Hannah on third with great speed. Arnold now running for Jacobson at first. Tremendous blazing speed as well, as Arnold swiped 5 bases, has not been thrown out this year. And the designated hitter, Thomas Jeffries, who recently signed with Paris Junior College, will step to the plate. Still nobody out now. Runners at the corners for the Jaguars. Get you caught up in the action. The final night of 6-6A play last Friday. The Jaguars, of course, all over the Wolfpack 9-1 if you were with us at the ballpark at Plano West. As Jeffries tries to lay the bunt down, it's foul back to the backstop. Jags played it 3 in the first, 3 in the second, 3 more in the third, and Weimer cruised to the win. He pitched the first 3 innings. Killian and Scott each got a pair of innings as well, as those 3 combined for 14 strikeouts in a 7-inning game.
Pretty solid. Good bunt.
Back to the mound, coming home. The slide is not going to be under it. Kind of a late break, and Danny Wallace is not too pleased with his center fielder. I'm not sure if there was a mix-up on what was going to happen, if he was supposed to go on contact or what. It will be a fielder's choice for Jeffries.
Yeah, I think he's just as upset with Jeffries for bunting it right back to the pitcher. And you're right, Hannah went on contact, and easy play for the first out of the inning. But give Coach credit for trying to make something happen, just not able to execute that time.
Yeah, something they're so good at is executing in a pinch. The fielder's choice first out here in the top of the 6th. 1-run Orty across. Thornquist swings at the first pitch, fouls it back to the screen. Nick walked in the first, grounded out to short in the 5th. Arnold on second. Jeffries on first. 1 gone and a 2-0 Flower Mound lead here in Game 1 of this best-of-3 series. The lone run that Plano West got last Friday night was a solo shot by Bennett Overstein, his 3rd home run of the year. This one is hit well to center by Thornquist, but Orta able to back up and make the catch. The throw is not going to be in time to third base as Arnold advances, and so does Jeffries to second.
That is a really, really good job of Thomas Jeffries running behind Arnold as he took off. A lot of times that behind runner takes things for granted and doesn't go. Scoring position now with 2 outs. Jeffries might have got himself back on the good side of Coach Wallace with that play.
So with 2 gone, Sean Holthouse, the third baseman, will step up. He walked and stole a base. No, excuse me, was lifted for courtesy runner in Bailey Champagne, who swiped a base and then was promptly picked off a second. Second and third, 2 gone here, top of the 6th, 2-0. Flower Mound with the lead. Holthouse first pitch swinging, fading foul, first base side. That'll be strike one. Talked about the Hebron Hawks a moment ago. They kind of stubbed their toe at the end of the regular season. Hebron jumped out to a 2-0 lead last Friday against the Boyd Broncos, but Boyd answered with 2 in the 4th, 2 more in the 5th, 3 in the 6th. Hawks tried to come back. Newstifter hit a 3-run home run in the 7th. But Boyd won it 7-5. This one does land in front of the center fielder, Orta. 1 run comes across, make it 2. Arnold and Jeffries both score on a 2-run single by Sean Holthouse, and it's now 4-0 Flower Mound.
And that's what makes this team so good. You can go through the top to the bottom, and there's Holthouse in the 8th spot with a little dinker that scores 2 runs. It's not an easy lineup to get through, and there's the example that you want to talk about.
Paris digs in. 7th Jaguar to the plate here in the 6th. Puts down a bunt. Foul for strike 1. Slaybach. Just 5 base hits allowed.
That's a big one, though. That league stretches to 4 now, and with as dominant as Weimer's been, that's going to be an uphill battle for this Timber Creek bunch.
Slaybach's high, count even 1-1. That Hebron Boyd game from last Friday. After Newstifter hit that 3-run home run in the 7th, by the way, he finished 3 for 4 RBIs and a run scored. Braden Webb then walked Ross Lau before striking out the potential tying run in Alec Davis. So it was very much in doubt, and you know that Hebron bunch is never going to quit or lay down, so that's not surprising. But Boyd winning at 7-5 was a little surprising, as DeLoach was the losing pitcher. Ressmeyer got the win for the Broncos.
And the Hawks begin their playoff series tonight over at Hebron High School against Trophy Club Byron Nelson, a 3-game set. Game 1 tonight at Hebron, tomorrow night over at Byron Nelson. And if it goes 3, let's hope the bad memories of last Friday night are gone, because Game 3 is at McKinney Boyd Saturday at 4.
And a 3-1 walk to Paris. He's on board for the 2nd consecutive inning on a base on balls. Holthouse moves 2 seconds. So runners at 1st and 2nd, 2 gone. Lineup will reset. Noah Hill steps back in. Jaguars lead at 4-0.
7th walk for the big left-hander.
The patience of the Jaguars in full display. 108 walks this season in shade under 900 at-bats. Again, patience personified.
Got the calculator here.
And that'll be the end of the night for Slaybach. New pitcher comes on. We'll have an opportunity to tie a ribbon around the 6-6A schedule here in a moment. This half inning brought to you in part by Corner Bakery Cafe, featuring innovative seasonal menu options while delivering a premier bakery cafe experience in the heart of neighborhoods everywhere. Visit cornerbakerycafe.com for more information. Last Friday night, Plano almost suffered the same fate as Hebron, wanting to go into the playoffs on an uptick. Had their hands full with the Fighting Farmers. Louisville took a 2-0 lead at the top of the 1st. But Plano, as they so often do, answered right back with 1 in the bottom of the 1st inning. They tied it up with a run in the 4th. So in the 7th, at Wildcat Field, Waterbury led off with a first pitch triple. Scored on the very next pitch, a walk-off RBI single by Graham Welch. The Wildcats won it 3-2. Cody Farhat, heart and soul of that team, scored the first run for the Wildcats in the first with a solo home run. Mitchell Hansen, not a bad night for him. 6 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 runs, only 1 earned. 12 strikeouts and 1 walk for the All-American. Jacob Maddox got 2 Ks, a ground out. One man reached on an error, but Maddox got the win as he pitched the 7th for the Wildcats as they win it 3-2 over Louisville. Angelo Gennari, who came on in the middle of district, pitched very well for the Farmers. Plano got the win. And Plano East Panthers, boy, there's just something about that team that, the proverbial little engine that could or whatever, but they struggled so mightily through most of district, but in the finale against the rival Allen Eagles, Plano East scored on back-to-back bases-loaded walks in the second by Gifford and Sternhagen to take a 2-0 lead. And Daniel Lagone made that hold up through 6 innings. A 3-hit ball, allowed 1 unearned run, 4 walks, 7 Ks. Trent Thomas closed it out. 3 up, 3 down, 2 Ks in the 7th. And Thomas came on after Aaron Stremmel led off the 7th with a solo home run. So it was 2-1 at that point. He closed the door. East gets their 3rd district win last Friday. And here's probably the biggest stat for Plano East's team. They didn't commit an error in the game. I can't tell you how many times so many unearned runs have come across and been the undoing of the Panthers this season.
New right-hander on the mound for Timber Creek is Kobe Tallman. Tallman, the right-hander in the game, a pitcher. 6 foot, 185 pounds.
And a 4.10 earned run average with the first pitch. Stays inside on Hill for ball 1.
You talked about the Plano Wildcats. They start their playoff series, and their reward is a Keller team that went undefeated in district. Game 1 tonight, 7 o'clock over at DBU. Are you noticing the trend?
Yeah.
DBU, McKinney Boyd, Arlington Heights. Guess what all 3 of those fields have?
Astro play surface.
Yeah, attaboy. So coaches that know are doing the right thing.
2-0 pitch. That one's inside. 3-0 the count here to Hill. Jags lead at 4-0, trying to apply some more insurance here in the 6th. Senior Tallman issues a 4-pitch walk to Hill.
Yeah. 4 at-bats for Noah Hill tonight. He's 0 for 1 with 3 walks. How about that as your leadoff batter?
28 walks on the season now. He's got a 15-walk lead on Sean Weimer for the team lead.
And the Jaguars have batted around.
Cox digs in, 9th batter to the plate. The bases juiced full of Jags. First pitch high and tight, ball 1.
Buddy, if the rain does come, which I don't think it's going to, this is an official game. We have played 5 innings.
I actually don't think that matters in the playoffs because the Timber Creek coaching staff can say, nope, we're not done yet. We need to finish it.
Okay.
So even if we have to wait until Monday, I've seen crazier things happen.
But don't we have to be done by Sunday?
The UIL will extend because the game hasn't gone final.
Okay.
They would extend. Trust me, I had one of those in Austin when I was down there.
Now, what happens with games that can't be played while we're talking about this?
All right, let's just.
Well, this is big
spitball here. Yeah. Here's a 2-1. Cox takes it on the inside corner for a strike, 2-2 the count. If this game happens and rain washes out the rest of the weekend, it becomes a 1-game series, and the winner of this one would advance.
Agreed.
Tallman comes too far inside, and the count is now full. Almost hits Cox.
What happens if you have a 3-game series and the rain washes out all 3? Do you flip a coin?
No, they would actually get an extension.
They
to
do
Monday.
get an extension. Okay,
yeah.
Good.
They'd let them play it.
That's only fair.
Would be reduced down to a 1-game series.
Right.
Runners go. Turned on down the left field line.
Wow.
About 5 feet foul.
That would have scored 3. Just got ahead of that little off-speed pitch by Tallman, did Skylar Cox, and just fell foul by maybe 3, 4, or 5 feet down the left field line.
Kind of rubbing his rib cage a little bit there, too.
Tried to hold back, maybe hurt something.
Colehouse on third, Paris on second, Hills on first. This one is smoked to second. Reyes' throw over to first in time. 4-3 ground out will close the door on the sixth, but not before the Jaguars plate 3 more runs. They do it on the benefit of 4 base hits and a couple of walks. No errors in the inning. Jags leave them loaded in the sixth. We head to the bottom of the sixth. Flower Mound 4, Timber Creek nothing. Playoff baseball continues in a moment on Champion Sports Radio and CSR TV.
Do you need a boost in exposure? Want to reach local, community-minded folks with information about your business? Join the Champion Sports Radio team and advertise during these games. In the last 4 years, Champion Sports Radio has broadcast over 600 games for more than 3.5 million listeners. And Champion Sports Radio wants to help you use major high school sports to reach thousands of local fans right in your community. It's also a way for your business to give back to the community by helping all these well-deserving student-athletes get some recognition for their accomplishments. The cost simply can't be beat for the effect it will have. You get a lot of bang for your buck, and best of all, it provides an opportunity for the best advertisement of all, word of mouth. To secure your prime commercial spot during the broadcast, contact Thomas Lee at Champion Sports Radio by phone at 972-741-0334. That's 972-741-0334 or online at championsportsradio.com. Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship broadcast.
Bottom half of the sixth inning, Jaguars with 3 in the top take the lead, 4-0, extend their lead, to 4-0. 9-1-2 come to the plate for the Falcons to face Sean Weimer. 4-0 Jaguars. Here's Thomas.
4 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Jaguars. No runs, 1 hit, no errors for Timber Creek. The first pitch for Weimer. Fastball catches outside corner, strike 1 to the 9-hole hitting center fielder, Anthony Orta. 61 pitches now thrown by Sean, 38 of them for strikes. I think it's 62 and 38. The count is now 1-1.
Pitching line on Isaac Schlabach after this pitch. Goes 5 2/3, 5 hits, 3 strikeouts, 7 walks, 4 runs, all of them earned.
98 pitches thrown, 49 for strikes for the 6'6", 210-pound senior Schlabach. And Tallman got him out of the inning without any further damage. The Jaguars had the bases loaded. 3-1 pitch from Weimer. For the first time tonight, the leadoff man is aboard for Timber Creek. Heck, for the first time tonight, they get a man on base with fewer than 2 outs.
That stops the streak that Sean had of 10 in a row. We go back to the top of the order now for Timber Creek and Ryan Klein.
3 walks and a hit for Weimer in 5+ innings. He struck out 7. Would love to get a double play. Of course, he struck out Klein both times tonight, once in the first, once in the third. Now Klein steps to the plate here in the 6th. The lineup resets.
1 swinging, 1 looking.
And on a total of, 7 pitches. Takes that one inside for a ball. Sometimes with those big offensive half innings, got a pitching change in there, 9 men to the plate for the Jaguars. Sometimes it just takes a little bit of the sharpness off of pitchers, although Jaguar hurlers should be used to it with the way things have gone the last few weeks here for Flower Mound.
And again, good job by Thornquist to go out and slow Sean down a little bit and not missing by much and not to get frustrated and throw a ground ball here and everybody's happy.
Pitch is high, 2-0 the count. We talked about what happened in 6-6A last Friday. The final district standings are as such. Jaguars 16-0, perfect through the district of death. 3-game lead on Marcus, who was 13-3. Hebron 2 behind them at 11-5, and Plano 3 behind Hebron at 8-8. That's where things got really interesting, as the Broncos finished just a game behind Plano, but Plano had already beaten Boyd twice this season. So as a result, it wasn't quite as close as it might have appeared. It was, in essence, a 2-game lead by Plano over Boyd. If they had finished tied at 8-8, Wildcats would have still gone to the playoffs.
Looks like we got after Danny Wallace consulted with his staff, we'll have some warm-up action down the right field line.
Thomas Lauer heading down there. Caleb Killian. Pitch is swung on. Shallow center field. It's going to get down for a base hit. 3-1, great hitters count. Good hitter in Brian Klein. As a junior singles to center, just the second base hit for Timber Creek in the ball game. And a little something going here for the Falcons as the first 2 men are on. And that'll bring Patrick Watson out to the mound to have a conversation with the infield. Complete the look at the 6-6A standings. Boyd 7-9. They were 9 games back of Flower Mound. That just humors me every time I would put these stats together of how many of the games back they were. Plano West, Allen, and Louisville all tied. No, excuse me. Plano West and Allen tied at 5-11. 11 games back of Flower Mound. Louisville 12 games back at 4-12. Plano East 13 games back in the standings at 3-13. And you wonder why all the talk about Flower Mound. Well, not only are they the defending champs, but they pretty much deserve it with the way that they went through, particularly the second half of this district race.
And for the first time all night, the Falcons here have a little bit of something going. First and second, only one out. This is only the second time in the ball game they've had 2 runners on, and first time back in the first inning we were able to get out of it.
Yeah, it was for, well, I guess for about a
nanosecond.
2 seconds. Yeah,
but interesting to see here what they choose to do and see if Reyes maybe even bunt to get the runners over in scoring position.
Pitch is spoiled foul over on the third base side, strike 1. It's Carlos Reyes, the senior second baseman. Grounded down the line to Scott at first in the first, struck out swinging against Weimer in the third. But Sean, where he's been most of the game, ahead of the hitter, 0-1. Ground ball to second. Hill scoops, no chance for the double, goes to first for the sure out. 4-3 ground out, both runners advance. We do have the first out here in the home half of the 6th.
That is a senior play by Noah Hill. No reason to try and force and get that out at second. It would have been a bang-bang play. He might have got him. Get the out at first and give your pitcher a chance to go after Dalton Davies here and see if you can get that out and get the sure out. 1 out now.
That one just under the knees. Nice knockdown by Thornquist. 1-0 the count. Davies 0 for 1. Walked on 4 pitches in the first. Slaughter came in as his courtesy runner. Tried to go from first to third on a single by Davidson. It was thrown out. A great play by Jamison Hanna. And Davies trying to make it a 1-run game with 1 swing there. Goes through that one. And the count is 1-1.
They've been unable to catch up with that fastball up in the zone all night long.
Another nice block at the play by Thornquist. 2-1 to count.
Solid. Nick Thornquist back there behind the dish for the Jaguars.
Swung on, foul. Had a play down the right field line. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. I want to apologize to all of our fans who were with us last Friday at Plano West. The game was rocking and rolling and then slowed to a crawl, and the final 3 innings just started flying by. And that one comes in high and tight, and it's a full count here to Davies. We didn't even get to our alumni update from last Friday. Did have one inquiry going, what happened to that? You teased it and everything. I know.
Stuff happens.
Yeah, sometimes the game gets in the way. Good story. Payoff pitch, spoiled foul.
Battling here is Dalton Davies. That was a good pitch there by Sean.
Our featured Jaguar last Friday night. You'll have fun with this. This is a little guessing game for you here. He was the 8.58 hitter of the year, batted .411 his senior year. 6 home runs, 26 RBIs, 24 runs scored.
Oh, he went.
They're going to peel down.
Oh.
He did not go. That's going to be a walk. 4th walk issued by Weimer. Bases loaded. Jacob Slaughter comes on as a courtesy runner for the catcher yet again after another walk. So 2 walks and a base hit this inning, a ground ball to second, the only out. And Jacobson walking the mound to talk to Weimer. Hill as well, and right there you've got the 3 members that have been a part of the 3 consecutive district champions for the Jaguars, and Hill, Jacobson, and Weimer. Those guys were all up the varsity as sophomores and part of that undefeated district campaign in 2013. But they're going to wait for the runner to be announced. It's Ty Davidson, who has one of 2 hits for the Falcons, steps in. Weimer's going to get a chance to get out of it. Fastball. Gas. Strike 1.
Come get it. I've missed that. Gas.
It's the first time I've done it this season.
I must bring out the best in you.
Well, that's the first time I've seen a fastball really jump out of a pitcher's hand like that. Weimer with a little extra on that one. Steps up.
Was our my guess is it a 2-sport athlete?
I don't think so.
Okay, well there goes that idea.
Well, I get some other tips here
Yeah.
for you. Nice snag by
Nice
Thornquist
play.
there. That saves a run. Had 25 walks, 3 stolen bases. Was 10-2 as a pitcher.
Oh.
A 1.28 ERA, 65 2/3 innings as a Jaguars senior year. 45 hits surrendered. 15 runs, only 12 earned, 10 walks against 107 strikeouts. Opponents only hit 182 against him. That one tries to come inside. It does catch the corner. 1-2 the count.
That's a great pitch. I'm going to take the 5th.
Highlight of the year was a showdown with Marcus where he went toe-to-toe with Brian Poche in an 8-inning thriller. Both pitchers had 16 strikeouts. As this young man got the win, a complete game shutout.
Playing baseball somewhere, Thomas?
He is, yeah. He's still playing. Just a couple years ago. Gas again, swinging strikeout. 8th K of the game for Weimer.
How big is that?
2 gone here in the 6th.
Is it a young man that's playing baseball at A&M?
Nope. I already mentioned Andrew Vinson earlier in the year.
Okay.
His teammate.
Yeah,
Andrew,
I'm there. I'm getting closer.
This young man drafted by the Miami Marlins in the 19th round of the 2012 draft.
Cody.
But they failed to meet his modest asking price.
Cody.
Yeah.
Alex, go ahead, buddy. Go ahead.
Swing and a miss.
As your phone a friend, Cody Gunter.
Thank you.
I put it on the tee for you, buddy.
Knock on the money as always.
What a huge strikeout. Back to reality here. Cody Gunter.
Mateo Gill, the freshman designated hitter. By the way, he's gone out on 3 pitches the first 2 at-bats. Haven't even gotten to mention he's the son of former Ranger great Benji Gill. Freshman DH for Timber Creek takes a pitch outside, 1-1 the count. So, Marlins couldn't sign him. Kind of a bonehead play across everything I've ever read on the story. So, Cody signed. Originally, it was signed to go play with Kansas State. Decided not to do that. Went to Grayson because he didn't want to go be somewhere locked in for 3 years. As a fastball catches for a strike. 49 games, he hit .321 with 7 homers, 39 RBIs, 50 runs, and scored and 14 doubles. In fact, 21 of his 51 hits were extra base hits. As Gill spoils his pitch from Weimer foul, and the count remains a ball and 2 strikes. By the way, Grayson, he also threw 15 innings, was 1-0 with 2 saves and a .60 ERA. Drafted this time 13 rounds sooner in the 6th by the Nationals in the 2013 draft.
Got him.
And Gill goes down. 9 strikeouts for Weimer. He works out of the bases-loaded jam here in the 6th. No runs on a hit, no errors. And much like the Jaguars in the top of the 6th, Timber Creek leaves them loaded here in the bottom half of the inning. 6 full in the books, 4-0 your score. Jaguars on top. Back to Quick Trip Park after these messages on CSR TV.
Stay up on all the latest news about the teams you care about and know when your favorite games are on the air thanks to Champion Sports Radio social media. Either follow @Champion Sports on Twitter or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio, and you will know what time your game starts, who was named Player of the Week, or what your school's alumni are doing in college. That's on Twitter @Champion Sports and facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio. Your home for championship social media.
In Command Broadcasting, a sports TV broadcasting and marketing company. In Command Broadcasting provides a wide array of turnkey video production and streaming services. In Command services include filming of sporting events, season highlights, school graduations, corporate infomercials, and documentaries. In Command streams your sporting event or company function over the internet live or on demand. Call 972-851-7888 to raise the energy of your next event. In Command Broadcasting, 972-851-7888.
Top half of the 7th inning here at Quick Trip Park. Jaguars continue to lead 4-0. Sean Weimer steps into the plate. Bring us home. Here's Thomas Lee.
Weimer leads it off by taking a pitch for ball 1. Kobe Tallman still in there. He came on in relief last inning for the Falcons. 1-0 inside, 2-0 the count. Sean 1 for 3 in the ballgame. Singled last inning to lead things off. Alex Jensen came on as his courtesy runner and stole a base and came around to score. It was a pretty important insurance run. And the pitcher now ahead in the count, 3 balls and no strikes. That one automatic in there. 3-1 the count. Finish up our talk on Cody Gunter. A couple of years in the minor leagues. He hit .224 with 3 homers, 19 RBIs in 2013. Last year, hit .233, 4 round trippers, 28 runs batted in. As the count goes full, the pitch fouled off.
Ow.
But I was, one of the great things about Twitter, I was actually corresponding with Cody on Twitter last week, trying to figure out, hey, what's going on? I didn't see any stats or anything with what's new with you, basically, trying to figure it out. Payoff pitch is ball 4. And Jensen's back out as the courtesy runner for the pitcher Weimer, who works a walk and now has reached base the last 2 at-bats after going 0 for 2 in his first 2. Yeah, Cody's got him through some changes lately. He's still with the Nationals, but was at third base and then has been moved, well, then first actually to the outfield. Now he's becoming a pitcher.
They're Rick Ankeeling him.
Well, he's got too much talent to send home, that's for sure.
Yeah, they don't want to lose him. Yeah, he'll find his way. Too good of a player and wants it too much, and one of my favorites.
Hard hit ball from Hanna to second. Underhand toss for one. The relay in time. 4-6-3 double play.
That's
2-9
a nice
here in the
turn by
seventh.
Brian Klein because Jameson Hanna can fly. 2 out. Top half of the seventh inning.
So Cody's making the change to pitching. Had his first day a couple weeks ago with the pitchers. And he's in extended spring training in Florida. Not sure what the plans are after that, but all the Jaguars want to wish him the best of luck to make his dream come true. He has gotten to play minor league ball and grow up in this area. That's always a big dream. So hope to hear more continued good things from Cody Gunter. We've got some good news as well from another two-way player. Teammate of the man at the plate 2 years ago. Jacobson takes the pitch low and inside, and the count is now a ball and a strike. Jet Minak was among 46 players named to the National Pitcher of the Year watch list.
Nice.
Award chosen by the National Collegiate Baseball Hall of Fame, presented June 29th in Lubbock. It's part of the organization's annual Night of Champions.
Now, correct me if you're wrong. Jets at the Naval Academy, correct?
Yeah, that's very good. Yeah, he and his teammate Luke Gillingham of California, both named to the list.
Very nice. I didn't know they played that good of baseball at Navy, but it's very nice.
Yeah, this year they are for sure. At last report, you're going to love these numbers. He's been a stalwart out of the bullpen as a shutdown reliever. 7-0 mark, a 1.08 earned run average, and over 41 2/3 innings out of the bullpen. Jacobson continues his torrid pace with a single to left to extend the top of the seventh here. Jaguars lead at 4-0 and trying to get some more insurance.
How big is that double play now? Because ball hit right on the nose by Jamison Hanna. Really nice turn by the inside of that infield and Reyes and Klein. And there's Casey stinging one again for his second hit of the night.
Thomas Jeffries, designated hitter, takes first pitch for ball one. Minak has appeared in 21 games for the Naval Academy this year, Patriot League high 21 games. He struck out 41 batters in that time on the mound. His 7 wins ranked 24th overall. And his 1.08 ERA would slot him in the top 10 nationally with a few more innings to hit that minimum qualification. So glad to see good things happening for the past stars here at the Jaguar baseball program. Meanwhile, the current Jaguars, 3 outs away from collecting their first playoff win of 2015. Pitch low and inside, now a 3-0 count here to Jeffries. In fact, these current stars have seen their stock rise as they are tied for 8th in the nation with, what a shock, Laredo Alexander. Nobody can figure out which team is better, and so it's fine.
Who they play?
Yeah, exactly. The composite rankings, and this is one that I think is pretty interesting. You're taking a cross-section. It's almost like the, computers aside, the BCS of the polls. Oh, what a hard-hit ball by Jeffries, and almost a defensive grab at first.
Hunter Porter, catch it or get maimed.
Yeah, it was catch or be caught, and Porter was able to snag it. A line shot ends the top of the 7th. No runs on a hit. No errors. 1 man left. Last chance time for the Falcons here in game 1. Flower Mound 4. Timber Creek nothing. We're back for the bottom of the seventh after these messages on Champion Sports Radio and CSR TV.
Many heart conditions can be fixed, but many of us don't know we have a problem until it's too late. On April 2nd, 2009, Zachary Schraw, a 16-year-old sophomore offensive lineman, died of sudden cardiac arrest, the number one cause of death among student athletes. Like so many SCA victims, Zach had no heart issues, nor did anyone in his family. If Zach had an echocardiogram, he might have been able to avoid suffering a condition that takes 10,000 of our youth each year. In his memory, Living for Zachary was formed to try and prevent SCA from taking the lives of youth everywhere. Join in the fight today and stop the silent killer of SCA by scheduling your young athlete for an echocardiogram, a procedure that can detect any heart issue with 99% accuracy. For more information, visit www.livingforzachary.org. That's living4zachary.org, and let your heart be heard.
Bottom half of the seventh inning here at Quick Trip Park. The Jaguars lead the Falcons 4-0. Sean Weimer back on the bump to try to finish this thing out for the Jaguars. Just a reminder, only game one of our doubleheader here on Champion Sports Radio. Around 8:30, we're thinking first pitch of South Lake Carroll Midlothian, and looking forward to that one. But see what Sean can do here to finish this thing out for the Jaguars. Thomas?
6, 7, and 8 due up, and it'll be a pinch hitter to start things off. Jacob Slaughter, the 5'8", 170-pound junior.
Oh, hello, Jacob.
Takes the first pitch high in sight. We've seen him already. He was the courtesy runner for the catcher, Davies, twice after a walk in the first and a walk in the sixth. Can't catch up to that fastball. The count is now 1-1. Slaughter, 250 average on the year. Pinch hitting here to lead things off in the bottom of the seventh, and the Jaguar 4-0 lead. Gas again, 1-2 the count.
Porter went 0-2 with 2 strikeouts, so Coach Watson see if he can shake things up with Slaughter.
1-2. Thornquist tried to frame it. Didn't get the call. 2-2 the count. Those composite rankings have Laredo Alexander and Flower Mound tied for 8th in the nation, and this is how those things work. Well, this is how Sean Weimer works. He just gets his 10th strikeout of the ball game right there for the first out in the seventh as Slaughter is retired on strikes.
And third in a row after he got challenged in the bottom half of the sixth.
So what it does, it takes the average ranking of 5 different polls. Perfect Game, Baseball America, Collegiate Baseball Newspaper, USA Today, and Max Preps polls. You take the average of those 5, and both Laredo Alexander and Flower Mound have an average ranking of 13.6. So that ranks them a tie for 8th. As Van Leeuwen falls behind 0-1. Weimer, fastball.
Oh!
That one maybe low, I guess. 1-1 the count.
Heavens.
Ryan Van Leeuwen walked in the second. Struck out looking in the fifth. 1-1 pitch from Weimer. Yes, again, 1-2. Boy, seriously.
I got you started. You must be me.
Yeah, tip of the cap to Sean. That's something that was reserved for Kyle Johnson. B.J. Myers a few times as well. Swings through that one, swinging strikeout. 11 Ks now for Weimer, and 2 gone here in the seventh. This half inning brought to you in part by Anamia's, a proud sponsor of Jaguar Baseball. Treat yourself to more than 50 menu choices, from the classic to the creative Mexican dish. Anamia's is the best Mexican restaurant in Flower Mound and a top Dallas caterer. Remember, everybody goes home happy after eating at Anamia's.
Including Pete when he goes there.
Especially Sweet Pete.
One of my faves.
Austin Gage. First pitch grounded back up through the middle, deep in the hole, and this one's going to be too deep. That's going to be a base hit. But 6 times in 7 innings now, Weimer has retired the first 2 men to give him 31 in 44 innings on the season.
Only the third hit given up tonight by Sean as well.
2-out single by Gage. Snaps a streak of 4 consecutive batters struck out swinging, and now Anthony Orta, the center fielder, steps in. Pitch inside, ball one. So Perfect Game has Laredo Alexander. Well, they don't have them ranked at all. Flower Mound 5th. Baseball America, Laredo Alexander 12th. Jaguars 25th. It's amazing how you can have such a fluctuation in these rankings. But part of it is you don't get to see everybody, I guess. Collegiate Baseball newspaper, Laredo Alexander 4. Jaguars are 9th.
That's why you play the game, my friend.
USA Today, 19th for the Jags, 5th for Laredo Alexander. And that's what happens when you only have one loss, as Weimer falls behind 3-0 to Orta. And Max Preps, Jags 10th, as we talked about a moment ago. Laredo Alexander 3rd. I don't get it. You know, the preseason number 1 team in a lot of those national rankings, Marcus, beaten twice by this Jaguar team. Does the Laredo Alexander have something like that to their credit? I'm not saying they're not a good team.
Who have they played? That's a strike.
Automatic in there. 3-1 the count.
And I don't mean to be negative. I just know what I saw when we got to Round Rock last year.
Weimer's 3-1. That catch is on the outside corner. The count is full. Jaguars a strike away from earning a Game 1 victory in this best-of-3 by-district series.
Jaguar fans come to their feet.
3-2, swung on late. Foul down third base line.
Carried.
I think Weimer did most of the work on that one.
I agree.
This half inning also brought to you by DBAT Louisville. They got a premier climate-controlled baseball and softball academy with 14 cages and a fully stocked pro shop. Visit their website, dbatlouisville.com, for individual lessons and team workouts. Another pitch spoiled foul. Orta is going to make Weimer earn it here. If he's going to go down. Here in the bottom of the 7th, Jaguars with a 4-0 lead. Runner on first is Gage. Payoff pitch, swung on, again, fouled down the third base line. Again, out of play. It's about the only place you're going to put it that Cox isn't going to catch up to it. Is beyond that brick fence out there in the grassy berm area. We've seen him make some spectacular catches this year. Full-out extensions, sliding grabs in foul territory. He's really been something since being called up last year in district as a sophomore to join the team. Cemented his location there in left field. It's been something special at the plate, too. Well, we don't quite have 5,445 fans here in attendance. It's not a sellout, but everybody who is, especially with the Jaguar blue on, at their feet. Swing and a miss. 12th strikeout of the game for Weimer. And it's a Game 1 victory for Flower Mound in the by-district round of the playoffs. In the 7th, no runs on a hit, no errors, 1 left. Final score, Jaguars 4, Timber Creek 0. As Flower Mound gets their 25th win of the year, the 90th for Danny Wells as the head coach of the Jaguars. 4-0 the final. Jags get the win over Timber Creek. Step aside for a break. We'll come back. Post-game show featuring a visit with Danny Wallace, the head coach of the Jaguars. And we'll have final statistics, all that more. We continue in a moment here from Quick Trip Park. Once again, your final score, Jaguars 4, Falcons 0. Game 1 in the books. Flower Mound with the win. Post-game show on CSR TV begins right after these messages.
This broadcast is under the direction and is copywritten by Champion Sports Radio. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or use of the audio stream, and any and all other use of the accounts of this broadcast without the direct written consent and permission of Champion Sports Radio is strictly prohibited. All rights are reserved by Champion Sports Radio and ChampionSportsRadio.com. This is a presentation of Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship broadcasts. In Command Broadcasting, a sports TV broadcasting and marketing company. In Command Broadcasting provides a wide array of turnkey video production and streaming services. In Command services include filming of sporting events, season highlights, school graduations, corporate infomercials, and documentaries. In Command streams your sporting event or company function over the internet live or on demand. Call 972-851-7888 to raise the energy of your next event. In Command Broadcasting, 972-851-7888.
There's a time and a place for everything.
As you'll see, projections for the next quarter are...
He shoots, he scores! 2 points for team middle management.
The office is not one of them.
Jack, can I see you in my office?
No pouting, it's your ball. Let's see what you got.
But Whirly Ball is. For corporate events, team building, and private parties, Whirly Ball in Hearst and Plano is electric fun. Test your skills on the arcade games. Zip around in your Whirly Bug for a Whirly Ball competition. Or play the most affordable laser tag in the city. Learn more at whirlyball.info.
Writer Gerald Early said that when they study our civilization 2,000 years from now, there will only be 3 things that Americans will be known for: the Constitution, baseball, and jazz music. GDYO's Jazz Institute provides young musicians in North Texas the opportunity to learn what it means to be a jazz musician through weekly technique classes and combo rehearsals with professional jazz musicians. From the first note to the final round of applause, GDYO Jazz Institute concerts will amaze and delight both hardcore jazz cats and new fans alike. Learn more about the truly original American art form through the GDYO Jazz Institute online at gdyo.org/jazz.
Are you looking for a way to promote your business or increase exposure? Do you just need more people to know that you're there? Join the Champion Sports Radio team and advertise during these games. In the last 4 years, Champion Sports Radio has broadcast over 600 games to more than 3.5 million listeners. And Champion Sports Radio wants to help you use major high school sports to reach thousands of local fans right in your community. Think about it. Die-hard fans just like you tune in each and every week, giving your business unparalleled access to the community. It's the perfect way for smaller individually owned businesses to cultivate a core clientele or expand their already loyal customer base. To secure your prime commercial spot during the broadcast, contact Thomas Lee at Champion Sports Radio by phone at 972-741-0334. That's 972-741-0334 or online at championsportsradio.com. Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship broadcast.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention estimates that nearly 4 million brain injuries occur every year due to sports in the U.S. They also estimate that 70% of concussions go unreported. Not identifying concussions early can be devastating, especially if the athlete continues to play with symptoms. Catching hard hits fast is critical, and that's why you need the Shockbox Helmet Impact Sensor. The Shockbox is a small sensor that easily attaches to most football, lacrosse, and hockey helmets and instantly sends a signal to a smartphone on the sidelines when the player has taken a hard hit that puts them at higher risk for injury. The free app receives data from the sensor, displays information about the impact, and even walks the user through a concussion assessment. The app also logs symptom and impact data for future medical use. Visit ShotboxDFW.com to learn more about the Shockbox Impact Alert Sensor and determine if it is the right option for your child. Be warned instantly when a player has experienced a head impact that could result in a concussion. Visit ShockboxDFW.com today. ShockboxDFW.com. And welcome back here to the field. Quick Trip Park. Thomas Lee here with Danny Wallace, the head coach of the Jaguars. A 4-0 win by district round of the playoffs is always so difficult to try to get. There's just something different about this team, though. They just went out and played a month and a half.
Yeah, that's if you haven't seen us play and tonight's the first time, then what you saw was what we do. We rely on great starting pitching and the great defense by KC at shortstop, and Jamison makes gets an assist from the outfield, and when we had our chances, we didn't execute all of them offensively, but we got enough of them to get the job done.
Let's talk about Sean. He was untouchable after the first inning for a long stretch, and then a little bloop single here and a walk there, and the bases are loaded, and all of a sudden he reached back and got some velocity on those balls that we quite hadn't seen this season, and that's just what he does, isn't it?
It is, and when he needed it, he went and got it. And our guys are all fresh. They've not thrown a lot of innings, and that was the master plan. And we talked to him in the middle of the ball game, asked him how he felt, and he said, I feel great. And when he needed some extra, he went and got it. And it was a tough zone to pitch to tonight. That was a tiny strike zone for both teams.
How does that affect the mental part of the ball game? You guys really preach quality at bats, but when the strike zone shrinks like that, how quickly do you have the kids adjust?
Well, that's just the nature of the game. You know, when you have to adjust, you have to adjust. And it made it difficult for both teams, you know, to compete up there. And a couple times Sean came off and said, I just have to throw it down the middle. And I said, well, then throw it down the middle, and we'll just pick it up when they hit it. That's all we can do. I think they had, I don't know, I think we had 9 walks, and Sean had 4, which is more than he normally does. And we draw a lot of walks because of the way we compete at the plate. But the zone was small, but it was small for both teams. It was really consistent. He was just small.
So what do you say looking back on this game? You guys needed to get hits when the operation arose. You did that. You obviously very patient, and Weimer striking out as many guys as he did. It's just what you expect from this team every time out, isn't it?
It is, and I'm going to tell you, we haven't seen an arm from the left side like that this year. They said he was up to 90 at times. He was definitely sitting in the upper 80s, and occasionally he could throw that little slider when he wanted to, and that made him difficult. I'm glad he didn't have command of that slider because it would have been really difficult. And so I'm proud of our guys because we haven't seen an arm like that from the left side. So to go out and get 6 hits off of him, and then there were 3 or 4 balls that were hit really hard right at people. So I thought we did a good job for the layoff and having not seen a plus arm like that to generate 4 runs.
What are your thoughts in this series? The tone, but you have tremendous depth in pitching to go for as we headed tomorrow. What was the word to the kids at the end of the ball game?
Well, I haven't talked to them yet, so we'll just talk about it being a game. And you know, we've been here before. We've won game 1 in the first round just 2 years ago, and then lost 2 straight. And you know, and last year Bell obviously beat us in the first game, and then we took the next 2 from them. So our boys know that it's just a game. That's all it is. And now we have to get up and come back to work tomorrow and finish the series off.
As long as Mother Nature allows it.
Well, yeah, if she allows it, and I guess if it just keeps raining forever now, then we got game 1. So,
well, Coach, congratulations on getting the first win.
Thank you very much.
That's Danny Wallace, the head coach of the Jaguars. We'll step aside for a break. When we come back, final stats and numbers. 4-0, the Jaguars win game 1 here today over Timber Creek on CSR TV.
For all your apparel, promotional, event, or team uniform needs. Point of Origin Design is a full-service design and logo creation company that offers a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products. With competitive pricing and quality work, you can't go wrong with Point of Origin Design. It's always best to start at the right point, so visit them online at pointoforigindesign.com. Let them help you plan your next promotional item or design your next t-shirt. That's online at pointoforigindesign.com.
Are you tired of only spending time as a family huddled around the TV? Would you like to enjoy some culture with your loved ones without breaking the bank? Then let me introduce you to the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra. The GDYO provides music education and performance opportunities for musically talented youth, but this is no kids' concert. The GDYO comprises 7 different ensembles made up of over 425 talented musicians ages 8 to 18, representing more than 50 communities in North Texas. You won't believe how amazing these ensembles sound until you hear it for yourself. So join them for one of their concerts at the Meyerson Symphony Center or Dallas City Performance Hall. For more information on how to make a donation, as well as a listing of upcoming GDYO concerts, visit gdyo.org. And if you know a talented young musician interested in an unbelievable experience, auditions take place in the spring. Connect with the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and at gdyo.org.
There's a time and a place for everything.
As you'll see, projections for the next quarter are...
He shoots, he scores! 2 points for team middle management.
The office is not one of them.
Jack, can I see you in my office?
No pouting, it's your ball. Let's see what you got.
But Whirly Ball is. For corporate events, team building, and private parties, Whirly Ball in Hearst and Plano is electric fun. Test your skills on the arcade games. Zip around in your Whirly Bug for a Whirly Ball competition. Or play the most affordable laser tag in the city. Learn more at whirlyball.info.
Many heart conditions can be fixed, but many of us don't know we have a problem until it's too late. On April 2nd, 2009, Zachary Schraw, a 16-year-old sophomore offensive lineman, died of sudden cardiac arrest, the #1 cause of death among student athletes. Like so many SCA victims, Zach had no heart issues, nor did anyone in his family. If Zach had an echocardiogram, he might have been able to avoid suffering a condition that takes 10,000 of our youth each year. In his memory, Living for Zachary was formed to try and prevent SCA from taking the lives of youth everywhere. Join in the fight today and stop the silent killer of SCA by scheduling your young athlete for an echocardiogram, a procedure that can detect any heart issue with 99% accuracy. For more information, visit www.livingforzachary.org. That's living4zachary.org, and let your heart be heard.
Back at Quick Trip Park here in Grand Prairie, Texas, as we continue to wrap up a 4-0 Flower Mound victory over Keller Timber Creek. Let's go through the Timber Creek box score right now. Leadoff hitter Brian Klein went 1 for 3 for the Falcons, a single in the 6th inning. Second place hitter Carlos Reyes goes 0 for 3 on the night. Third hitter Dalton Davies, he also goes 0 for 2, reaches on a walk in the first inning, is erased back in the first inning on a great throw by Jamison Hanna to third baseman Holhouse to get the third out of the inning. Fourth hitter Ty Davidson goes 1 for 3, single in the first inning. Mateo Gill goes 0 for 3 on the evening. Hunter Porter goes 0 for 2 with a couple strikeouts. He's pinch hit for by Jacob Slaughter in the 7th inning. He strikes out too, so 0 for 3 out of the 6th slot for the Falcons. Ryan Van Leeuwen goes 0 for 2 with a walk. Austin Gage 1 for 3, single in the 7th inning, prolonging the game one more out. And the last at the 9th place hitter Anthony Orta goes 0 for 2. Reaches on in the 6th inning with a walk. For the pitching line for the Falcons, Isaac Slayback goes 5 2/3, gives up 5 hits, strikes out 3, walks 7, 4 runs, all of them earned. He takes the loss. Colby Tallman came in and pitched an inning in the 3rd, giving up a hit and 2 runs. For your Jaguars, Noah Hill, the extraordinary leadoff hitter he is, goes 0 for 1, reaches base with 3 walks and scores a run in the first inning. Skylar Cox 0 for 3 on the night, did walk in the first inning as well. Sean Weimer 1 for 3 on the evening, and a run scored back in the 6th inning. Jamison Hanna, a single, RBI single in the first, another single in the 6th, ends up going 2 for 4 with an RBI. Casey Jacobson on the night, 2 for 4, RBI single in the 6th inning for Casey. Thomas Jeffries, 0 for 3 in the night, did score a run with a fielder's choice in the 6th inning. Nick Thornquist on the night, 0 for 3, hit the ball hard all 3 times, just 3 balls that were Atom balls. And Sean Holhouse goes 1 for 2, an RBI single that broke this thing open in the 6th inning, scored 2 runs, 2 RBIs there for Holhouse. And Chad Parris in the 9-hole goes 0 for 1, reaches base twice with 2 walks. But Thomas Lee, welcoming you back in. The star of the night for the Jaguars is the right-hander, Sean Weimer. You can give the pitching line to everybody.
Yeah, he was really something special. And after my conversation with Coach Wallace, I actually stopped and talked to Patrick Watson, the pitching coach for the Jags. And the biggest thing that we were talking about is it was a small strike zone. It was extremely consistent. I didn't have a problem with any of the pitches and how they were called. It was a pretty tight strike zone. So I think it was best, having not knowing anything about the officiating crew that was going to be there, that the senior was on the mound, the guy with the most experience. And part of the reason they didn't go for anybody out of the bullpen was, well, sometimes you come in and you have to find that strike zone. You got to settle in a little bit. It would have taken too long. With Weimer, he had another gear to reach. He reached back, touched that wall, and came firing it out. And that resulted in getting the win. He threw 108 pitches in the complete game shutout victory. 65 out of the 108 for strikes in 7 innings of work. Surrendered just the 3 base hits, struck out 12, walked 4 batters, and just maybe not as good a stuff as he could have, but I heard Coach Wallace say this before we went on air with the interviews. Just classic Sean Weimer. When the moment got big, it never gets too big for him. He just calms down and executes better than everybody else, and that's how he was able to get out of some of those jams in the ball game. And
no better than in the 6th inning where he just shut the door, got challenged, and came and after gets the men on base and then strikes 4 out in a row. So an outstanding job for him and an outstanding job for the Jaguars. And you heard Coach Wallace, and we know what the message is going to be. That's only one. You still got to win one more. And as you know as well as I do, buddy, that closeout game, no matter what round it is the hardest.
And there's something about the first round of the playoffs. You're transitioning from district. Everybody knows everything about everybody in your district. You're used to facing these guys. You know what to expect. This is a real wild card round, and you hear it from coaches all across the Metroplex, all across the state. This is most often the most difficult round to get a win in, so getting that first one obviously is definitely going to help. The pitching numbers here for Timber Creek were pretty impressive, as I thought Slaybach really came out and kind of really controlled this potent Flower Mound offense for the better part of 4 innings right in the middle of this contest.
Yeah, and as I went through the numbers, reading them, I thought about it. 5 2/3, that's pretty solid, and did a really, really nice job of not giving in. We did score 3 in the 6th, and that was the only time we were able to string a couple hits together. So no, the big left-hander, and we heard Coach talk about him and how he was a plus arm and a lefty throwing 90 miles an hour. If he would have, like Coach Wallace said, if he would have been able to control that slider a little bit, would have been really, really difficult on the Jaguars.
And I think good for the Jags to see something like that, because that was
it's only going to get
live
tougher,
fire
my friend.
They did force Slaybach to force 98 pitches in 5 2/3. Meanwhile, Tallman came on in relief through 28 pitches, only 12 for strikes. Probably more a result of the strike zone than of the young man's ability. But in the inning of the third, just 1 hit. I thought he pitched well, but again, the patience of the Jaguars is 9 total walks in the contest.
You just stole my line. I was going to just say the thing you got to take away for anybody that hasn't watched Jaguar baseball this year, a.k.a. Pete Nielsen, how patient this team is. 9 walks is just phenomenal at this level. We talked about the strike zone all night. It was consistent. I'll take that strike zone every night if you could get that, as long as it was that consistent. I think the home plate umpire was great. I think the Jaguars' approach at the plate was even better.
So game 1 is in the books. A final score, 4-0. But before we sign off, let's go around the horn. And, Doctor, you're first up. Obviously, you and I have said here in this ballpark and seen the good, seen the bad, seen the ugly of Jaguar playoff baseball over the last 3 years. What were your takeaways from tonight's Game 1 victory?
That they went ahead and took care of business. Weimer pitched a great game. They took advantage of opportunities when it presented them. We had a 1-0 game most of the game. And when they had opportunities, boom, took care of business, got 3 runs in the 6th. Weimer pitched well the whole game. Get out, go get Game 1. Let's move on to Game 2. They did what they were supposed to.
Peter?
I couldn't agree with what Alex said anymore. You got to take one game at a time, win the first one, but, man, you got to come out here and win the second game tomorrow, not take a chance for Game 3, because we've all seen it. Crazy things happen in Game 3. You don't want to take that chance. You throw your guys out there, tell them to win today, take Saturday off.
And I think it also goes to what Coach said in the post-game interview. They've won Game 1 in this ballpark, in the bi-district round of the playoffs, and lost the series. They lost Game 1 last year and then went on and won a state championship. Game 1 is meaningless. It helps you. You're in a better position, but there's still a lot of business to take care of. We got some business to take care of, too. We got to reset things. We'll have Game 2 of our doubleheader coming up here in just a moment as the Carroll Dragons take on the Midlothian Panthers in the first round of the playoffs. And if you want to keep up to date on what's going on, you can switch on over. Ryan Mueller and Tritt Landry are calling the Coppell Cedar Hill ball game. Cowboys with a 3-0 lead early in that one down at Longhorn Field. So hopefully the rain will stay away, and we'll be back with you tomorrow for more Flower Mound Jaguar playoff baseball. Once again, your final score 4-0 as the Jags win it. 4 runs on 6 hits, no errors, 8 left on base for Flower Mound. Timber Creek, no runs on 3 hits, no errors, 6 left on base. For the Doctor, Alex Sterling. For Sweet Pete Nielsen, I'm Thomas Lee. Once again, thanking you for watching CSR TV and listening to Champion Sports Radio's coverage of the Flower Mound Jaguars as the Jags look to defend their 2014 state championship. For all of us, folks, have a great night. Hope you stick with us for Game 2 of our doubleheader here in just a moment between Carroll and Midlothian. And if not, we'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow afternoon right back here on CSR TV. Good night from Quick Trip Park in Grand Prairie.